Do you like basketball? Basketball 너무. I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
Let's get this non sequitur on the record. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast, only NBA podcast talking about every team every week. I'm Jack, aka Joestar, your host. With me, as always, Pablo Escobar, world famous. We're talking about wind power, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is brought to you by wind. I have a fan going behind my laptop. Pablo's got his windows open in the middle of the open ocean. It's so windy. He's like in the middle of an ocean wind farm right now. It's crazy. Pablo, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's 60 degrees. I'm in an abandoned LA Fitness parking lot. I ordered a matcha latte today. Here, tell me, does this seem natural? Do I seem like a matcha latte guy? Picture me walking into a cafe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ask me what I'll have.
What do you have today?
Oh, and this is good because he worked at a coffee shop before.
I did used to work at a coffee shop, yeah.
All right, re go.
Okay.
All right.
If this was accurate, I'd be like around the corner in the coffee. I'd be like sitting down reading a book, and you'd have to be like, ding, 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 ding. Hello,
sir.
Hello, sir. Oh, sorry. What can I get you today?
Could I get a 20-ounce matcha latte?
20 ounces, you fucking glutton. Oh my God.
You asked me hot or iced. No.
Hot or iced? I assume iced if we're cracking the windows down.
No, I did hot.
Damn. You're the duality of man distilled.
I'm a free thinker. I looked at the eclipse.
Hey, there you go. All right. Now he can see.
I didn't actually. I was really scared to.
You didn't even get cool glasses for it?
I tried to last minute. They were out.
Damn.
Perks
of a library girlfriend. She had a pair for me last minute. I was like, "Gimme," and she was like, "Okay, I saved you one." I was like, "Sweet."
Wow. I bet my tax dollars went towards your goggles, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They fell off my face while I was looking. Well, okay, someone described it really well on TikTok, actually. I looked up while I was putting the sunglasses on, but like I looked up and there was a second gap between me looking up and me putting the glasses on where the sun just like full on hit me in the face. And I was like, oh shit. But no lasting damage, thankfully.
Wait, pause the recording for a second.
All right, you guys don't get to hear this top secret information that we're sharing here. Dude, before I started the call, I was finishing up my notes and I tried to copy over one of the lobbyist requests, and I ended up copying literally everything we've ever posted on Patreon and pasting it into my notes app. And I thought I lost my entire like document for this. I was like, oh shit, like I'm literally just gonna freestyle this whole episode, but I saved it. So yeah.
The undo button?
No, because when I pasted it, like clicked out of the note. So like what happened was I just had to scroll all the way through the entire pasted thing and just delete everything that was.
How many pages was it?
It's not on Google. It's in my notes app. So it was one page, but I would say like you're scrolling on a laptop. It was like a good 4 finger flicks of the laptop trackpad just flying down the scroll bar. So
just like going past my Reed Shepherd scouting report.
Literally, you're like, size matters. I'm like, Pablo, I've already read this. Get out of here. Oh my God. Everybody go patreon.com/state of the league. If you want scouting reports on the upcoming draft, Pablo's posting his written shit there. It's really high quality stuff. And you can request us to talk about specific stuff on this free episode of the podcast and the Patreon episode, extra 2 hours every week. We have a lobbyist request right off the top that we can get into if you want.
Yes, please.
This one's pretty traditional, actually. It's not that silly. It's just rank each first round matchup from most to least watchable. I thought this could be like a little bit fun. So right now the play-in tournament is Phoenix, Sacramento 7-8, and then Golden State, Los Angeles 9-10. So first of all, what do we think is going to happen with the play-in tournament?
the winner of Phoenix and Sacramento is safe, correct?
Yeah, they're the 7 seed right away.
And
So
then
they'll face probably right now it would be Minnesota.
and then the loser plays the winner of Lakers Warriors.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That Lakers Warriors game will be spectacular.
I
And
know.
then I'm gonna assume and I'm probably gonna hope that the winner of that Lakers Warriors game beats whoever's left between the Suns and the Kings. But yeah, that's incredibly watchable compared to the East, where what is it, Bulls and Hawks, and then who
It's
else is in
probably
there?
Bulls, Hawks, Heat, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's Sixers, Heat, Bulls, and Hawks from 7 to
Man.
10. So Embiid and the Sixers, I assume if the Heat upset them and sent them to the second round, that would be kind of crazy. But I don't know. I think Embiid's probably got it. He's been playing really well. But okay, so back to the West at least. It is more watchable. You're right.
So we've got Mavericks Clippers. That'll be great. Who what are the other ones?
Yeah, okay, so right now, all right, so fuck it. Let's just say Phoenix and the Lakers are the 7 and the 8 seed. So it'd be Nuggets, Lakers, Timberwolves, Suns, Thunder, Pelicans, Clippers, Mavs right now. I think Clippers, Mavs is my favorite first round series. That's probably going to be the most watchable one in the West. That feels like it's going to be a fucking fireworks show every night. Then I would probably go. I think I'd probably go Pels Thunder after that. I feel like those are two pretty closely matched teams with the way that Zion's been playing lately, which we'll get to down the list. But I'm a big Pelicans guy anyways. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'd probably go the same order. Man, there's so many good series. They're all good series, aren't they?
Yeah,
As
it's
long
literally
as-
the opposite of the East, where it's like Pacers Magic was getting a lot of shit online for being a first round matchup, and that is gonna stink. That's not like we can be brave and act like I like analyzing basketball, I like watching film, I like seeing stuff and cool. Like I like seeing what Siakam does against a great defense if he can fucking handle the pressure and everything. But it's not like if you ask me if I want to watch that or LeBron Jokic too, or the fucking Wolves going up against Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Yeah, the latter are obviously way more entertaining. All of the West playoff series are going to be really fun, and even the playing games.
Yeah, the East will be interesting, but a lot of them it's more depressing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in the West, it feels like, is going in with good momentum, except for
Sacramento.
And,
Oh
and-
my
and
God. It's terrible, dude. Holy shit. Shout out to Jack the Kings fan. Shout out to Aaron Schroeder. We don't respect either.
do not respect Aaron Schroeder. Jack the Kings fan, I respect. But Aaron
Oh,
Schroeder.
okay.
Oh my God.
I don't respect him. Fake Jack. Fake
Whoa!
Jack. I'm the real Jack. Yeah, this is a anti-Kings podcast now. Straight up. I don't know about all that. The Kings, they've got some fun pieces, but it's just
He's the most. Oh wait, the other way. He's
Yeah.
the most. Wait, let me get it. He's the most anti King Jack since Kennedy.
oh, bada bing. I'm anti-King Jack. Like I would assume Jack Sparrow's pretty staunchly anti-King as a pirate.
Yeah, that's a good call. Who are the other Jacks? Who are the top Jacks? Who's your Mount Rushmore of Jacks?
So we have Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick.
Kind
We
of
have.
a wonder.
Let me think. Damn, Jack.
Nicholson, Jack from The Incredibles.
Oh, Jack's got to be up there. Jack was big.
Does that count though, or does he take up 2 spots? He's got
No.
2 Jacks in there.
He's got 2 heads on Mount Rushmore right next to each other. Okay, I can get on board with that. Let me Google it. Fuck it. Famous Jacks. I don't got anything going on. We can get a full list up here. Jack White. I don't know. Oh, Jack
that's
Black.
the White
Okay.
Stripes.
Okay. Well, Jack Black very clearly on my fucking Mount Rushmore. I'm taking him. I guess Jack Sparrow would be on there. My parents loved the show 24, if you've ever heard of that.
Or Jack Bauer.
Yeah, Jack Bauer was like mid 2000s. Jack Bauer was huge. But he is a cop, I'm pretty sure. So I probably wouldn't put him up there.
I never watched that show. What is he doing? Is he always like Does he have 24 hours to solve a
Yeah,
crime
that's
every
like the
time?
every season is like I've only got 20. It'd be funny if the whole show was like a week long. And he just has 24 hours every time. He hasn't slept the entire season. Jack Kerouac is on this list. He's pretty famous. I think I've never read any of his books, but
Is that an author? And I never heard that name.
yeah, he's an author in like the 60s. Kind of like, have you ever seen that fucking Johnny Depp movie where he's like doing drugs in Las Vegas? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
No, I haven't. I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's not it.
But he's in there.
He's a
And
barber.
he's young and he's good looking.
Oh, he is a nightmare. I thought you were talking about Sweeney Todd. I was like, oh, that is not. No, he is. He's wearing that little crop top on Elm Street. So yeah, shout out to that. All right, first round matchups. I'm gonna go Clippers, Mavs, Thunder, Pelicans, Nuggets, Lakers, then probably Timberwolves, Suns. But all of them are really gonna be good, and it could be any of the Kings, Lakers, Warriors, or Suns in those last two matchups. So I don't really care. I think it'll all be super exciting.
Who would you rather have, Lakers or Warriors?
Oh
well, you're coming at it from a Nuggets perspective as well, in terms of watchability.
In terms of watchability, probably the Lakers. The Warriors, it doesn't really feel like they have like the firepower to go to really give Denver like a horrifically hard series. The Lakers, even if they can't stop the Nuggets, they're pretty damn good offensively, so I think they could give them a good game on most nights. The Nuggets are like a good defense, but especially guarding the three, I don't think they're like insanely good off the top of my head. So I don't know. I think the Lakers would probably give them a better series.
I'd go Warriors. I want to see. They haven't faced off, have they, in the playoffs?
No, not well. They did when it was like Will Barton and Monte Morris.
In
The
the
2022,
golden era.
yeah, the first round in 22, they faced off and did not go well for Denver. Oh man.
Yeah,
was-
so I'd like to see, assuming everyone's healthy for the Warriors. I'd be interested. I think they probably still get thumped, but I'd be interested to see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of the Nuggets, I guess we could just jump right into it. 3-1 in their last four. They lost to the Clippers, and then they had wins over the Hawks, the Jazz, and the Timberwolves. Oh, and we're doing new shit this week, people. We're giving each team a letter grade, and we're placing them into a contender tier. That's what I did. It was a tier. I don't know how you ranked them as contenders, like straight up numbers or what, but I did tiers. So yeah. 3-1 in their last four. They beat the Hawks, the Jazz, and the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves win is like the most notable this week. It feels like that was a very big game in terms of Denver or Minnesota locking up the first seed. I think there is still a way if Denver were to like lose their next two games against Memphis and maybe Utah. It's two not very good opponents. Minnesota still could be the one seed, or Oklahoma City could be. But the Nuggets had to win the Timberwolves game to keep their hopes of being the first seed alive, and they did. Jokic had 41, 11, and 7 with 3 steals on 80% true shooting. A lot of people were saying this locked up the MVP award. I'm probably, I don't think it boils down to one game. I think Luka was kind of fighting from behind for a while now, just because of the way they came out of the All-Star break and everything, but. Yeah, the Nuggets are looking really good right now. What do you think about them?
In terms of MVP, I think. Oh, I'm saving it. Whoa!
Whoa!
I'm saving it for
Okay.
next week when we talk awards. I can't give any insight into who I think is going to be MVP. Oh my god! But Jokic had five fouls in this game. Is this correct?
He did. Yes.
Is he a fraud? Will he be able to stay in the series when these two teams face off in the playoffs? He might be out of there. But yeah, that was a really good game. Did you see going into the game, they asked Anthony Edwards and Jokic if it was a big game. And Anthony Edwards was like, I think everyone knows what's at stake. I don't even need to talk about how big it is. Everybody knows how big this game is. And then they asked Jokic if it was a big game, and he said, I don't think it's a big game. We're going to go out and play Harden try and win the game, but I think people are just making up stories that it's a big game. It's not a big game. So that tells you the place the place in what am I looking for? Their place in the NBA, I suppose. The top dogs and the dogs at the bottom of the mountain trying to come up to the top and kill the other dogs.
Whoa, okay. Dogfighting metaphor.
Dog fighting.
Nice.
Shout out to Ron Mexico. Was that Michael Vick's alias or whatever?
Damn.
That was doing.
Well, yeah, no shit. That guy's committing. Okay, well, I don't want to associate the country of Mexico with committing crimes, but really, that's on Mike Vick for being like, my name's Mexico. I fight dogs. I think that's a little bit more fucked up there. Yeah. Anthony Edwards. He also had a good quote where after the game, they were like, how hard is it to guard Jokic? And he was like, I don't know. I don't have to guard him.
Yeah,
it looks hard.
Do
you have to ask Nas and Rudy and Kyle. It looks hard. He's unstoppable. So, yeah, I thought that was really funny. Yeah, I don't know. It does speak to kind of like where they're each at as teams, where you have to imagine if you're Minnesota with the way Karl Anthony Towns is slated to come back, I believe this evening against the Atlanta Hawks.
Today's Friday.
Yeah. So Karl Anthony Towns is coming back tonight, but still, if you're Minnesota with the way shit shook out last season, you are probably you're going to want home court advantage if you're playing the Nuggets. Like, you want every single advantage that you can get if you're looking to beat this team. Like, they're a fucking juggernaut.
Well, do you? Because you don't even know who your owner is. So instability.
Oh, well,
good,
I saw there was some owner stuff. There was some owner stuff with them where I think A-Rod and whoever his business partner were looking to like seriously cut back on the payroll of the roster when they took over operations. And so secretly the whole time, the guy,
Glenn Taylor's the good guy. Wow.
He's the hero this whole time, double agent. He's just doing what needs to be done, and he's being crucified for it in the public circle. So,
like Walter White.
Exactly. Walter White's the good guy, everybody. Walter White, he's just providing for his family the entire show. That's what it's all about. It's what society does to a man who takes matters into his own hands. That's the entire
You want
moral.
The meth heads on 70% purity? Or do you want 99?
I've always, I don't know. I wish they had delved more into that. Just like a straight up, like the ATM junkies in that show being like, getting a bag and be like, oh, this is like 60%. This is terrible, dude. Oh my God. And just like a full arc where they like have really become accustomed to the top tier meth that Walt is cranking out. That would have been fun in that show.
Yeah, I wonder what is like how much is the percentile? Is it like time that you spend high, or I wonder how they measure that.
I don't know. But they have the meth machine. I remember that when Jesse goes to Mexico, he makes meth and they put it in like a machine that just cranks out like a number on the front of it and it says 97, and then he gets to. No spoilers. I won't spoil Breaking Bad. Everybody go watch Breaking Bad, but it's pretty fun what happens
We
after that
do
point.
not do crystal meth. You know what we do? We watch Peyton Watson play basketball.
Same effect physically on your body. It's like doing meth. It's pretty fucking great. What do you have to say about Peyton over the last couple games?
6 blocks against Minnesota. He was guarding Nas Reed. I looked up their listed weights. Peyton Watson is listed at 200 pounds. Nas Reed is listed at 264 pounds. That's a big pound difference. Pound for pound, they shouldn't be in the ring together. But Peyton Watson was holding his own. He blocked him several times. He was blocking 3-pointers from him. And he's been going bonkers. He had 2 blocks against Utah and then 5 against Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And a good amount of them are coming just on the ball straight up. He's just like, they're trying to create versus him and he's going, boop. He's just shutting them down.
Don't shoot it. You should pass it. A lot of people would be like, you're 60 pounds heavier. Why are you shooting 3-pointers? But Nas Reed, I'll let you cook, man. I think that was just an off night for him. But Peyton, there was a really good play. He fouled. He was a ticky-tack foul away from 7 blocks where he's guarding. I think it's Mike Conley. He picks him up in transition, and Conley gets all the way to the elbow. And like the whole transition play is still happening. He gets close enough with his big wingspan to force the ball off Conley, and Conley bounces it to Kyle Anderson, who's cutting to the basket on the other side of the paint. And Peyton Watson's like the only guy seriously involved in the play. And he gets all the way from the elbow up to block Kyle Anderson's shot on the other side of the rim in the span of like half a second. So it was just very good like reaction time and all that shit. That's what a lot of people were freaking out about. And it was like a body foul, I'm pretty sure. But the fact that he was even able to like stop the layup there is impressive in its own right.
I think I know which play you're talking about, or I might be thinking of a different play. His second jump is incredible. He like, wait, did you say he started on Conley on that play?
I think so. But again, I don't know if we're talking about the same play, but yeah, the one I'm thinking of,
him going from Gobert, and then he went directly behind him. Like someone cut in behind and got the pass, and then he like jumped up and pinned them. He's crazy. How much did he play in the playoffs last year? It wasn't too much, right?
I would say he was the lowest amount of minutes that I would still consider like a fringe rotational guy on the Nuggets last year, because like he would get like a solid like 4 minutes. They would look to him to guard Kevin Durant for stretches or something like that, just being like, we really need you in this specific matchup. We need you to come in and defend or try and rebound, play the passing lanes, whatever. But like his role was a lot more narrow than it has been this season. So yeah, he did play, but like this year they're looking to him way more as like a bench producer.
How do you feel about his existence on offense? Because like last year, would you say he's the Bruce Brown replacement or not really?
I would say they're looking to Christian, like ideally they wanted Christian Brown to be the Bruce Brown replacement, I feel like, because Christian Brown playing off of Bruce Brown did show some cool flashes of like the on-ball creation that Bruce Brown was capable of doing with the bench unit. He's not as good of a passer or anything, and really any of that on-ball creation, Christian Brown has not lived up to it this year. But I think they're recreating him in the aggregate. There we go. Moneyball. Yeah, between Reggie Jackson, Christian Brown, and Peyton Watson, they're trying to find all of like good point of attack defender, good run a two-man game with Jokic with like a starter bench unit Frankenstein type thing. All of that shit that Bruce Brown was really good at, they're looking to those three guys to kind of recreate.
Yeah, so how do you feel like, do you think he'll be picked on for not really having anything to do on offense in the half court, or do you think he can exist just based off athleticism, just based off cutting and dunking?
I think in units where Jokic isn't out there, it could become an issue. When Jokic is out there, he can exist off of cutting and athleticism and stuff like that, but Murray isn't capable of playing a two-man game with him that way. Reggie Jackson really isn't as well. The ball just sticks a lot more when Jokic isn't out there. And so I think that it'll become a problem, but I don't think it's going to be like this monstrous thing that rears its head every time Jokic sits down. I think there's going to be other impacts he has on the game that kind of cancels it out a little bit.
Will he be? Remember last year, Jared Vanderbilt was like, his minutes really fluctuated. It was like very situational when they brought him out. Do you think it'll be like that with Peyton Watson, or can he play, or they'll just keep trotting him out?
I don't think it'll be like that. Because Peyton Watson can finish at the rim, and Vanderbilt's really bad about that. Like Vanderbilt can't do anything offensively. There is some shit, and even like Peyton Watson will have the occasional game where he goes 2 of 5 from 3 or whatever, and if you leave him open, he will shoot it. So I think that's a shot that teams are willing to cede. But compared to Vanderbilt, I think they're in not like separate tiers offensively, but Peyton Watson does enough to stay afloat on that end of the floor, even when Jokic isn't out there. So I think Malone likes his rotations. He likes he doesn't like making big changes on a whim like that. Like, he will alter shit that's necessary if they're just getting killed in a certain matchup. But I think Watton's going to continue to go out there probably.
Yeah, I hope he'll be exciting to see in the playoffs. 2 games left for the Denver Nuggets, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you know Jokic is in record territory?
He's in okay. So if I remember correctly, it's like 10 points or something to match what only Oscar Robertson has done, if I recall. What's the record that we're looking at?
Not that one, different one.
Okay. All right, give it to me.
Wilt Chamberlain. Remember, he has the most assists in a season for a center ever.
Oh shit. Okay.
And this for the old heads, they say, Wilt Chamberlain, this guy was a hell of a pass. He led the league in assists one year. This is a big deal. But then you go back and you like read about why that happened, and it's like the media said he was too selfish, so he's like, I am intentionally gonna hunt assists this year. I'm gonna rack up the
Rondo
assists.
style, baby.
Yeah.
Rondo style. Hell yeah.
The even like Rondo, I feel like he was still to a point. He was still like, I genuinely think this is the best way this offense functions. Wilt was like, I need this number. I need these.
I need to prove this will make them love me. These assists will make them love me. Yeah, that's Wilt was a unique guy that way.
I'm sacrificing 5v5 for 1v1 production. Jokic has 12 assists. He needs 12 assists to pass Wilt Chamberlain. Can he get 12 assists in 2 games?
Well, I mean, he's averaging 9, so the math would bear out there, yes. But
will he play both?
I don't know. I guess, I mean, maybe if he gets 12 against the Spurs, he'll rest, but I think he'll probably play both. At least like rotational minutes, maybe like the first half against the Grizzlies or something like that. I don't know though. I haven't really considered that. I've been looking at the playoffs for weeks at this point. Fuck it, yeah.
His attention to detail's gone. He's lost focus. He's
getting
champion. Ahead of himself.
That's not what champions do. They take it a day at a time. So that's my fault, Denver Nuggets staff. I'm sorry.
Did you wake up at 4 a.m. today to grind?
No, I woke up at 8:30, and I was like,
"What's he doing?
Fuck, shit."
Your ops had been in the gym for 4.5 hours at that point.
Oh yeah, well, Jimmy Butler, you're a fucking nerd, man. And
I don't know if Jimmy Butler is still doing. I don't know where we're at right now with the Jimmy Butler grinding. Like, is he still grinding in secret and then just like not taking shots on the court and then going to get coffee during games and stuff like that? I don't know. The Jimmy Butler narrative is crazy these days, but the Jamal Murray narrative is there trouble in paradise? Jamal Murray got 4 steals and 3 blocks. Jokic confirms it wasn't good defense. It was stat padding.
Whoa.
He's just going for stats. He doesn't really play defense.
Wow. I think there's a little bit boiling under the surface. This legendary 2-man game, I think we've probably seen it run for the last time. With quotes like these surfacing, it's just evidence of a toxic locker room environment. It's pretty disgusting.
Who do you trade? You have to pick one.
Oh, shit.
Better shooter, Jamal Murray.
Better shooter. Build around Peyton Watson. That's all. I mean, yeah, come on. You have a generational prospect right there. Build around Peyton Watson.
To decide who to build around, everyone goes outside in the winter in a blizzard, and they have to put hot tea on their thighs.
Okay. Jokic. Serbia, I wonder where he grew up. Does it get cold? I know it's pretty temperate there in the summer, so...
It's gotta be cold everywhere there. Where are they? in the winters? I bet it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking. Well, wait, Serbia and I guess Siberia is not Serbia.
No, it's not. Oh man, that fucking rocks. All right, my season grade I gave the Nuggets was an A. I said I wrote a little summary. I said a continuation of dominant basketball displayed throughout the last postseason. not a ton of new developments. The biggest one is probably Peyton Watson becoming a really, really great defender and solid rotation piece. Losing Bruce Brown and still getting near the franchise record in wins. I think if they win both of their next games, they set the franchise record for wins. I don't know how much that really means to them at this point, but even with Murray missing 23 games, they still did that. So that's good. That's good. Jokic MVP, probably, maybe, question mark, would join Wilt, Bill, Kareem, Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and LeBron as the only players to ever hit that mark. So pretty impressive stuff if that were to hold true. And then
is it third MVP? Is that the...
Yeah, 3 MVPs. And then I guess all of them have a finals MVP. So like you could add that to the list, but they all have it, so it doesn't really matter. And then
which Nuggets team are they breaking the record of? It's not the Ty Lawson one, right?
No, I don't think so. Here, I can open it up real quick.
Is it Carmelo or is it the like 80s one where they're scoring like
1975. 1975, they won
65.
65 games.
I think that's when they're scoring like 160 a game or something.
Yeah.
I'm not 160, but that's when those games are crazy.
Yeah, in 1976, that's the second. They won 60 games in 76, and they were playing 111 possessions a game. So pretty high pace stuff.
What are we right now? Are the fastest teams like 105 or something?
I don't know. Let's see.
And I'm guessing that's the Alex English era.
Yeah, I figure Alex English. Is that Kiki Vandeweghe was still on those teams? Maybe.
I think he comes around later.
The fastest team by pace in the league this season is the Washington Wizards at 100.6 possessions per game.
Oh, okay. So I'm way over us.
Yeah, so they're flying back then, which we kind of already knew. And then for the contender tier, I put them tier 1, Denver. Do you have letter grade, contender tier, anything like that?
Is there a player in history that 2K has done more favors for than Alex English? I think his legacy is dead if there's no 2K. Nobody knows about Alex English. I gave the Nuggets an A for the season. The only way they could have got an A+ is if were doing what Boston's doing, but they haven't. So A for the season, and they are in my top tier. I didn't come up with anything. They're in my S tier for my contenders. Or you know what? I'll grade it by Jujutsu Kaisen. So I was
just about to say that. They're like what, Sukuna tier or what?
They are a special grade.
Ooh.
Because I think Gojo and Sukuna are still technically special grade, right? I don't know if they're.
Yeah.
I don't know if they put something ahead.
Jujutsu Kaisen's kind of like that. That I don't love that about their ranking system. Is it feels like everything's special grade in the manga now. Like if someone's grade 1 in the manga, I'm like, they're a fucking loser. Like they can't hang right now.
Yeah. The world building, like originally it was a big deal, but now it's like the only people, like the other special grades, they don't stand a chance against the top.
Yeah.
So
and literally every curse in the world is getting one-shotted now. Like no other antagonist is going to sniff what's actively happening. So yeah. All right. So yeah, S tier, Sukuna tier, special grade, tier 1, sorcerer, Denver Nuggets. The number 2 seed, Minnesota Timberwolves. Oh shit. You know what they say. Get them out of our face. Timestamp. 33 minutes. There we fucking go, baby. The Timberwolves 2-2 in their last 4. Beat the Wizards. Beat the Lakers. Lost to the Suns. Lost to the Nuggets. What do you think about them?
There's only one way to know, and it's by scrolling down on my notes page. Oh wait, I'll save that. Cat. Yeah, we talked about Cat is going to return tonight. What a blast for them. Hopefully he probably won't be 100%. Hopefully he can be something close. I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder if they'll just swap him and Naz Reid. Or if they'll be like, you're back in the starting lineup, or if they'll just have him handle bench duties until they could see, until he shakes the rust off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as we talked about,
What are you just gonna
Timberwolves,
throw him out there against Vic Krejci night one back? Are you serious?
that'd
It's
be a
like
Vid Krejci.
that'd be a Vic Krejci of them, man. I don't know.
The Timberwolves minority partners Mark Laurie and Alex Rodriguez submitted financial projections forecasting a sizable retreat in roster payroll, and so Glenn Taylor believed that would jeopardize the franchise's ability to compete for a title. He was the good guy all along.
He's the good guy all along.
So I wonder who they were going to get rid of. It really does sound like they were going to own the team for like 2 or 3 years, and then they were just going to flip it. It's
Damn.
crazy.
I don't want sports teams to become house flippers. That would be kind of sad. So I suppose I'm glad that didn't go through. If they were, I don't know, whole internet was like, oh, they weren't going to pay Karl Anthony Towns. They weren't going to give him. And so, I mean, maybe.
When is
but
his contract up?
I swear he's like a restricted free agent this year.
It probably is soon, because remember they paid him when Jimmy was there, right?
Yeah. And I know that's been like one of when you've looked at it from the Knicks perspective of like who's available this offseason. Yeah, it looks like we're in the last year of his okay. So he could extend. He could extend through like 2028, or has he already signed this? I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at right now.
Are you on Spotrac?
Yeah, I am on Spotrac.
Or wait, is it Spot Rack? I think it is Spot Rack, and I thought it was Spotrac.
It's probably Spot Rack. It's Eric Spoelstra's website, and he's tracking all of these things. So, yeah, Spot Rack. It says he can. It's estimated the next 3 years through 2027, and then there's a player option after that. So I assume that means the estimate means he hasn't signed it yet. So I don't know. A lot of shit up in the air for Minnesota at this point. I think they'll bring him back, though. That would be kind of surprising if they let him walk.
I think it would not go well. Number one, the Tibbs reunion. I don't know if they were the best fit as far as player coach. I think he might speak positively of Tibbs since then, but I don't know about that.
I don't know if he'd want to play for him again.
Yeah, and then the New York media with him does not seem like a fit. I feel like he would just be turned into the main villain, and they blame him for. He would just become the new Julius Randle.
Also, if you thought Julius Randle's fucking body language could get bad, holy shit. Do not tune in to a bad Wolves game. Karl Anthony Towns, he's good. He's underrated even. Like, I'll go that far. He fucking rocks, and he does a lot of shit super well. And it's bad for him that, like, there was this moment where it was like, whoa, Jokic, Cat, and Embiid. Like, this is
where GMs picked him over everybody. He was the number one player they picked to build your team around.
Do you remember what year that was?
It was probably after his rookie year. So it would be, he was drafted in 15. So I'm assuming this would be 15 or 16.
Okay.
Rookie or sophomore year.
That's crazy.
So Giannis was there.
Yeah, Giannis.
But he wasn't Giannis. But I think he was already like 20 point per game scorer Giannis.
Yeah, it was him and Jabari Parker were the dynamic duo. They were like, Milwaukee's got a couple of forwards up there. They're going to change the league, baby.
And Embiid's never going to play.
There was just this moment where it was like, Cat is among this generation of like the next generation of big man. They're bringing the big man back. And like he has helped contribute to that. But the other three guys in that conversation have all become like generationally talented MVP, NBA champion type guys. So just being a 1 or 2 time All-Star at this point feels a little bit underwhelming. But yeah, okay. I wrote down Anthony Edwards did call the Nuggets game the biggest game of the year and then folded. Loser. 15 points in the third quarter on 4 of 6 shooting. Nuggets largely did not have an answer for him. And then in the fourth quarter, 0 for 3 from the field. Even if
you've got him on fraud watch, is that what you're saying?
No. I have in parentheses after the word folded. I am still terrified of him because he's scary. When he's hitting, he's scary. The third quarter was scary, but then the fourth quarter, like it's good that Cat's coming back. And this was on the second night of a back-to-back where he had 51 against the Wizards in this huge comeback the night before. So I'm not gonna like crucify him for being tired in Denver at this point. But like with this situation, with the way the Wolves offense is without Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards taking 3 shots in a close fourth quarter, you are probably going to lose that game. It was really hard for them to score down the stretch. Minnesota's defense for most of the Nuggets game, it was suffocating. Like Jokic got a lot of clout because he scored a lot. He played really well. The Nuggets won. They executed in crunch time, all of this shit. They made everyone who touched the ball that was not Jokic, Minnesota made work incredibly hard. And I think that bodes pretty well for them in a series where they play anybody but like Denver or Dallas, because Dallas can kind of recreate some of the tough shot making, unanswerable offense that you see from Jokic. But I don't know. If you got to play like the Thunder or the Clippers, I feel like that defense probably matters a little bit more than it does against someone like Jokic. Yeah, other than that, 51 on 70% true, 75% true shooting. They got down 20 against the Wizards. Not super good, but they came back and they won, so that made it cooler. And Naz Reid, since Cat went down, 17 games played, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 3 stocks, 58% true shooting, 43% from 3 on nearly 7 attempts per game.
Wow.
46, 43, 68 shooting splits.
Wow.
You know what that is?
That's good.
No free lunches. That's what that is. And then he had 31 against the Lakers. I did write down only against the Lakers. All these role players go off against the Lakers. It's like stupid meme online where like people are just, oh, this only happens against our team. Guys, these guys are all professional. These are like the 400 best basketball players on the planet. So some nights they're going to get 20 shots and they'll play really well. Yeah, I think once Cat's back, Nas off the bench especially is like an underrated part of what keeps them afloat offensively. Without Nas on the bench, their backup units can get really, really gross really quick. And then I said Gobert's DPOY. But who knows? Maybe it's Wemby. You'll have to tune into the awards show to find out next week.
How many games do they have left? The Timberwolves and the Spurs. Do they also each have two left?
I'm going to assume everybody has 2 left for the rest.
Your opinion could change, maybe.
Yeah, 2 games, 30 blocks, maybe.
Wemby gets 2 quadruple doubles with blocks. How are you feeling?
It'd be crazy if he got quadruple.
Actually, I think Wemby's done, right?
Oh fuck, is it? Yeah, I think he sprained his ankle a little bit, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's done. Anthony Edwards, when he dropped 51, he was wearing a KG finger band. It said 21 on there. Pretty cool.
Maybe it was for 21 Savage.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He doesn't rep Minnesota. He reps England.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, damn. 21. That was
illegal immigrant.
Shout out to Demi Lovato that day where she was like, haha, this is so funny that we're all making fun of him. And then like all of 21 Savage's fans were like, shouldn't you go overdose again, lady? And everyone was like, holy shit, that was a bit much. Sorry, Demi.
I did not remember that happened. What did she tweeted like a joke about it?
Yeah, she was just like, like the whole internet was like, oh my God, he's British, ha ha ha. And then she said it. And like a bunch of people were like, aren't you fucking addicted to crack right now? Like, aren't you? And it was just like,
Leestar rapper is doing heroin.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Britain. We probably got some
Demi Lovato, one of the greatest vocalists of our time. Dare I say all time.
I can't name a Demi Lovato song off the top of my head. What do you got for me?
This Is Me.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah, Camp Rock 1, banger. Camp Rock 2.
I never saw
banger.
either Camp Rock.
If I ever did that, I think I'd have a heart attack. You know that?
Okay.
That's not Camp Rock. That's her own one.
All right.
Who said I can't wear my Converse with my dress? You know that?
Yeah, I do. Okay, I'm getting
She's
some of
got
these.
so many bangers.
Damn, maybe
Oh
I'll
my
lock
god.
into the Lovato discography. That sounds
One time
fun.
there was a paparazzi picture of her and Neymar. They went out to dinner on a date. And you know
Oh,
what I
bag
was
fumbler.
you know what I was thinking?
What?
He doesn't speak English.
How'd
What were
that go?
they talking? How does that go? Did they have
Mm,
someone else there? Because
yeah.
as you guys, we can't trust translators
I was
anymore.
just about to say their translator was at a different table, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "I'm gambling online. I'm playing poker on my phone right now.
You
So
know,
don't
there,
talk to me."
there's a video of Neymar I just saw where he's playing like online poker, some kind
Oh
of
yeah,
online
yeah,
game
yeah. I saw
during
that.
his kid's birthday party.
Like mid happy birthday, a notification pops up. It's like, "Oh, spend more money," and he's like, "Okay, fine, cool." So yeah, shout out to Neymar. Shout out Demi
Shout out
Lovato.
Neymar. He's a what's their guy's name? What's their poopy president's name? Something with a
Ooh.
B.
Oh fuck! What is the Brazilian president's
Bolsonaro. Yeah, Bolsonaro.
name?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Neymar's a supporter.
Oh shit, that's not good. Bolsonaro's
Being
a bad guy. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah, he's like a wannabe Trump over there. Except he's basically Trump, but he poops himself all the time. He like several times he's almost died because he has to like go to the hospital because he's constipated. He has to go to the hospital and get the poop tubed out of him. So but he wants to cut taxes cut taxes for the rich. So the
Okay.
entire Brazilian soccer team supported him, even though he's a bad guy, because they're like, I want my money. Except for Richarlison. Shout out Richarlison. Shout out Luna. Shout out the literacy and the poverty programs in Brazil. Shout out the guy on the Grizzlies. What is his name? I forget. It's like Virginia or something. There's some random Brazilian guy playing for the
I
Grizzlies.
saw him. I saw his basketball reference page earlier this week while I was clicking through box scores. And I was like, whoa.
You're like, man, his two-man game with Trey Jemison could be sick.
Yeah. And shout out to Sonny with a Chance. That's what I remember Demi Lovato for.
Oh,
Other than that, other than all that Timberwolves stuff we just said, letter grade for the season, I said A++. Really a lot of great shit happened for Minnesota in terms of, like, if you're a Minnesota fan looking at this season from the perspective of last year, you have disproven the idea that Karl Anthony Towns and Gobert can't play well together. You have disproven the idea that Karl Anthony Towns can't exist on an elite defense while playing the four. You have disproven the idea that, like, Walker Kessler and Gobert are the same player, which that was stupid when it happened, but it was still something that got repeated a lot. That's fucking radio silent now. Anthony Edwards is
he's not a Team USA merchant.
no, he's not. He's just a basketball merchant. He needs the basketball to score the basketball. Fucking loser. But he does look capable of shouldering the offensive load that the Wolves are asking him to do. And so, yeah, just a really good follow-up to a pretty bad season last year. All this shit. I would still say they paid a little bit more than I would have liked to get Gobert, but it's a trade that's way harder to be critical of at this juncture. I'll say that much. And then I had them in my tier 2 contender. What do you got? Can you hear me?
I got a scam call just now. They're trying to interrupt me. Let me turn my phone on.
Well, Bolsonaro heard you. He's like, let me give this guy a
crap.
fucking call. Oh my god, I got a shit.
Yeah, he's like, man, I'm on the toilet. I got nothing else to do right now. Yeah, because I'm not pooping on here.
Yeah, nothing's going down here, so I might as well get this call.
I said they're A plus grade for the season. This has got to be either the best or one of the best, probably like top 3 season in Timberwolves history. I don't know. There's probably a KG season in there. I don't know if he has multiple seasons in there.
I'd probably say 2004 is on par with this, but that's backpacked by the fact that you really have like one of the 3 best players on the planet. So if you kind of adjust for that, broad strokes, this one's probably a little bit more fun.
I was thinking about it. It's kind of crazy that he won MVP. If he played today, even though he's an MVP level all-time great player, he would never win MVP just because offensively he wouldn't put up. I don't think the enough volume.
I don't know. That's interesting because I remember 2004. I would wager he was like 8th in points per game. So like
And
maybe
what was it? Was it like
it was like 23 points per game or something.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't crazy, but just in terms of like league rank, it was still pretty solid. So I don't know. I think he'd win MVP. Maybe. Because like I don't think he'd win over Jokic any of these years, and probably. So
I think he would deserve MVP. Obviously, the
Mhm.
MVP level player, but I don't know if he'd get it. I think he'd run into trouble. But regardless, the Timberwolves I think are not special grade for me. What's below special grade? Grade 1.
I think grade 1. Yeah.
They are grade 1 sorcerers. They are who is in grade 1 even?
It's like Toto.
Toto's pretty good.
Yeah, Toto's sick. Toto's really. You could be a great character. They're a dope character. Their arc's really cool. We're getting some fun backstory with them. But in terms of like,
They had to take away Toto's power because otherwise, man,
that's what Karl Anthony Towns is.
if he's there, man, things are not going well for a certain king of cursed spirits.
What do you think about Hikari on Fraud Watch? This is something that's been getting put on my timeline a lot. He's been taking so long to fight Uraume or whatever their name is. Jury's out on the gender identity there, but yeah, I'm a big Hikari guy, so he's not on Fraud Watch for me. That's one of the strongest people in the first. That's my take.
I'm in on Hikari. I have so many Hikari edits favorited on TikTok.
Always bet on him. You know, that's literally what the narrator told me to
4 minutes and
do.
11 seconds following jackpot. Hikari is effectively immortal.
Boom, boom, da, boom, boom, da, boom.
They play that song. That is not what that song is going to sound like.
It's supposed to be like a romantic comedy themed like slot machine. So it'll be like
it's called like Pure Heart Love Train or something. But it's not the Love Train song that we know. It's just a fake song. So yeah, it'll probably be like some anime Hatsune Miku type.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, shout out Hatsune. So yeah, all right. Toto caliber character that we're looking at with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Powerful. You get them into a fight against most curses, they're going to hold their own, but we're not really looking at like a black hole power scaling situation right here.
You wonder about how they're going to deal damage to some of the special grades.
Yeah, absolutely. The mobility's sick though. All right. Oklahoma City. Oh, wait, actually. Oh my god. Timestamp. Holy shit. What is that? 52? All right. The Oklahoma City Thunder, 3-1 in their last 4. They lost to the Pacers. They have wins over the Hornets, the Kings, and the Spurs. 3 straight wins after 3 straight losses for the first time this season. No Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Jalen Williams in any of those 3 straight losses. The Kings win was really good. The Kings win was impressive. Down 20 heading into halftime, still come back to win. Shai, often called a 31-point merchant. He goes for 40.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 stocks on 67% true shooting. Also, they broke Sabonis's double-double record, which is pretty cool considering all of the problems that people have like talked about with Oklahoma City. Like they get beat up on the offensive boards. You get like a real physical bruising big man that's gonna go at Chet's chest, and they're gonna fuck him up. Sabonis had 8 points on 2 of 7 shooting against the Oklahoma City Thunder. He still did grab 8 rebounds, but or 8 offensive rebounds, but it didn't really translate into that many points for him personally. Maybe he kicked out for a couple threes, but overall they contained him.
How many rebounds did he have total?
I think he had like 14. He had 8 offensive rebounds.
I was gonna say, I thought at first I thought you said he had 8 rebounds and then 8 offensive rebounds. I was like, he didn't get a single.
He didn't get rebound? 1 defensive rebound? No, yeah. Other than that, Shai MVP hype rightfully feels like it's died down a little bit over the past several weeks due to the injury and everything. OKC has gone 2 of 4 in the games without him, which they also again didn't have Jalen Williams for 4 of those games. But yeah, in the same time that he's been injured, that OKC has slowed down a little bit. Obviously, the Mavs have been on a fucking red hot streak. So Luka has kind of taken his place as the Jokic challenger for this part of the season. So I don't know. Overall, I gave him an A+ for the year. What do you think about the Thunder?
I've also got an A+ for them. They're ahead of schedule. Cason Wallace, rookie wall in April. For the first time he's hitting it. He's just having his first bad shooting month. After the entire year he's been so efficient. He's going to finish the year averaging 7, 2, and 2 on 61% true shooting, 41% from 3, 73% at the rim. Good rookie perimeter defense. So what a hit on them for the draft. The youngest team, the best young team in the league, they're taking the NBA by storm. They might be in the finals. Well, their G League team, they're in the G League finals now. This is an organization that's firing on all cylinders. And you know who they're playing in the G League finals? The Maine Celtics. Whoa.
Jordan Walsh? Is he still with them?
Okay. I don't know if he's still down there or if they called him up. That could be a preview if OKC versus Boston in the finals, maybe. Gordon Hayward. We have good news and bad news about his shooting. So which do you want first?
I'm a bad news first kind of guy.
Well, it's actually better if I tell you the good news first.
Okay, I'm a good news first kind of guy. Thanks.
I gave him the illusion of choice there. He's shooting 54% from 3.
Holy moly!
Whoa!
That's so good. Whoa!
It's on 1 attempt a game. So that's
rats. So every other game he's hitting the big 3.
He's taking 4 shots a game. So
oh my god.
In 17 minutes. So probably not gonna be doing much of them.
Not gonna swing a playoff series playing like that.
In the offs. I don't know if he's doing it. I think Paul George said that once. I think he called the offs and everyone got mad. Josh Giddey's last 20 games. I'm gonna round it. It's 15.5, 16. 16, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, only 2 turnovers, 61% true shooting. What if Josh Giddey's back?
That would be crazy that he got his power up from an accusation.
That'd be crazy. And maybe he got the power. Maybe he was never bad. Maybe he got the power down from the accusation.
What do you have his 3-point percentage?
I do not.
I'm gonna look it up because it feels every time I've thrown the Thunder on recently, it feels like he's hitting like a big 3.
Yeah.
So let me.
They're still like teams are still living with it, right?
Oh, yeah. Like he's wide open every single time. But 37% from 3 on 3.4 attempts per game, which compared to like the beginning of the season, holy shit. That's night and day. So I mean, teams are still going to live with that. I'm fairly certain that like if a team loses a playoff series based on that, they'll be fine with it. It's like I don't know. That's just what the numbers bear out. This team is so good offensively at so many different spots that you do kind of have to live with a guy who's only done that for 20 games, being the guy that takes the shot, but still trending in the right direction for him, I suppose. All the shit I wrote down for them this season, I said it rocks. That Shea, a lot of teams like emerging from the young team rebuilding into good team territory. It's still a question as to whether or not they really have like a franchise guy, like a 1A on a championship kind of guy. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander feels like that kind of guy to me. One of the best players in the league this season, really, and probably going to be an MVP finalist. Absolutely deserves it, in my opinion. Also, Jalen Williams, very fast ascension to one of the 30-ish best players in the league. I don't have a list. I don't have a list here in front of me, but there's a 4-month stretch. I went through. So November, he was 18-4-4 on 61% true shooting. In December, he was 19-4-4 on 62% true shooting. In January, he was 25-4 on 62% true or 64% true shooting. And then in February, he was 22-5-4 on 65% true shooting. So just a whole quarter of a year, half a season where he is just fucking going upwards the entire time while being a really impactful defender and being an elite 3-point shooter for a lot of that stretch as well, like bordering on 50% for a couple of those months. The volume is not great, but I don't know. He does so much different shit at a very high level. And then Chet immediately on the short list of best rookies since LeBron. Obviously, Wemby this year is better, but once you get past that fact, there really haven't been that many guys who have played at a level at 21 years old that Chet is currently hitting, and it rocks to see. I had them in a tier 2 contender. Where'd you have them?
I would say grade one Sorcerers along with Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I'm here for that. I don't know. Okay. So I think they would probably be Toto because they're so silly. Like all the post-game interviews and stuff like that. They're very Toto-pilled. The Wolves would be closer to the business guy with the tie and the overtime. Yeah, Nanami. I could see them, or maybe that's the Clippers. The Clippers are pretty business-like, I suppose. But yeah, regardless, grade 1, we do have a lobbyist request. Oklahoma City versus the New Orleans Pelicans would go to 7 games and would be must-see basketball every single night. I think that would be fun. I think that'd be super cool. I think there's a lot of really fun storylines in there. I think Zion versus Chet is like
the apple versus cinnamon stick. Apple.
Oh shit! It is. We are getting a fucking.
They got rid of those guys.
Why?
I don't know. They nerfed them. They're like it's now a nice apple, and I think it's a completely different cinnamon stick.
It's not a Jamaican cinnamon stick anymore.
I think they nerfed him. Yeah.
That was the whole dynamic. The cinnamon's Jamaican, the apple's evil. That's why it works.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if the apple's evil. The apple's definitely scary. Like he
was a mean guy.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna trick this. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm the apple.
I'm the apple. I'm gonna rig, and they're always racing for some reason.
Yeah. For the Applejacks.
Okay. So yeah, shout out to the Applejack series.
You used to have to compete for your cereal. Remember the Lucky Charms? He was always coming after them. They're like, get it away from him. What?
Oh.
They had to have stolen it from him, right? Who's the real villain?
Land back. That's what I'm talking about. Land back for Mr. Lucky Charms.
I wonder if it's still the same marketing. Like every single cereal marketing campaign in the 2000s was the mascot trying to get the cereal, but he can't get it. Like the Cocoa Puffs guy or the bird.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, they're like, you're literally insane. You can't have these.
Holy fuck.
And like
so many of them were in I swear there was one where he was in a courtroom.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
You're insane. Like you are going to be institutionalized.
I think he's trying to play it straight. He's like, no, I'm good. And then he can't help himself. He just he ODs.
Oh my god, this is like Requiem for a Dream. Holy shit. So yeah,
haven't seen it. Don't get the reference.
I've never seen it either because it is so sad. But everybody, it's a story where 3 different people get addicted to heroin or to drugs, and it ruins all of their lives in unique ways.
I'm anti-drug addiction. Shout out Ipe. Oh, that's not drug. I'm anti-addiction.
I'm pro addiction. Yeah. Oh, dude, I saw on my TikTok. I got this video. There's this guy.
I've been getting a lot of good addiction videos.
No, I got this one where it was literally a guy with the video had 600 likes. He overdrew his bank account $100.
Oh, is it the gambling addict?
Yeah,
guy?
Immediately took the bus to the casino and walked out. He was like, I only got $19 left. I'm gonna leave so I don't look too bad. And I was just like, when I closed my phone, I just sat in silence for 5 minutes after. I was like, oh my god, dude, you need help. So shout out to that guy.
I've seen that guy, and someone tried to send him money once. They sent him $25, and they're like, you got to stop, man. And he made a video, and he's like, I'm not accepting this because I'm not gonna stop. And I don't know if it was a this is awesome, I'm not going to stop, or if it was no, I have a problem and I'm not going to stop, so I'm not going to take your money.
I'm not going to take your wrong, you want me to stop? I won't take this money. Hell yeah. Shout out to him. Shout out to Joshua Block, World of T-Shirts, alcoholic on my timeline. I see him a lot as well. Hopefully both of them figure it out. I'm sure the internet will definitely help foster a situation, foster a community that will help them through those problems, and definitely won't just like laugh at them until they die or run out of money.
I'm sure all this platforming and then mocking autistic people, I'm sure this is going to age well. I'm sure we're going to look back and be like, yeah, it's so funny you went on the Joshua Block tour in New York and everything.
It's so funny that you paid him $20 to be in person when he blacks out and throws up on the train. That was so funny, man. Hell yeah, you're a good person in your core. All right, do you have any final thoughts on the Oklahoma City Thunder?
No, well, let's just decide now. Who are we rooting for? The OKC Blue or the Maine Celtics?
Oh, I'm going OKC Blue, 110%.
Yeah.
I'm never rooting for the Celtics.
I don't know who's on there. I think Xavier Simpson was on there, but he might have got signed somewhere. He might have got signed to the Grizzlies. Oh well, I don't know.
OKC Blue roster. Let's look it up. I don't know any of these people.
Throw some names. Let's see.
Okay. No, it loaded. We have Ousmane Dieng. So
okay.
he's a name I recognize. Sam Daniel, Adam Flagler, Logan Johnson, Keontae Johnson. Whoa, Kong.
That's the guy who what's it called? He played at Florida and he was gonna be like a top 10 pick a couple years ago. But then he stayed in school and then he collapsed on the court.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that. Damn, that stinks. That sucks for him. Jeez.
6'4" with 6'10" wingspan.
Holy fuck, big arms. All right, this guy's name is Kong.
I don't know.
That's pretty cool. Miller Kopp, Hunter Maldonado, Caleb McConnell, Jamias Ramsey,
Texas Tech,
Jaden Shackelford, Noah Starkey, KJ Williams, and household name Olivier Sarr.
Oh, his brother just declared for the draft.
I'll root for the Sarr family. I hope for a dub for them.
Pull up the main Celtics roster. Let's see who is Jordan Walsh still there? He was there. I don't know. Because like the SLC Stars, Ice Price isn't playing for them, but their season might be over.
I don't know. All I know for the like Grand Rapids Gold is Colin Gillespie plays for them, and he gets like a 30-point triple-double every 3 games. Like he's good enough to be a rotation guy, but they just don't play him. James Banks, Donald Carey, JD Davidson, Scotty Hobson. That's a good name. Jordan Jackson, Kyler Kelly, Drew Peterson, DJ Stewart, Brandon Slater, Tony Snell is on the fucking Celtics G League, dude. Oh, damn. Okay. Jared Wilson Frame, Joe Wieskamp, and Jordan Walsh. So yeah, I'm going OKC Blue, but I understand if the Snell is wafting into your nose and bringing you over to Maine like a nice pie cooling on a windowsill.
Bulls legend Tony Snell. You know he was teammates with Kawhi in high school, right?
I didn't know that. It must have rubbed off. He's so damn good.
Also, long wingspan. Also had some great moments defending LeBron circa 2014. So huge deal for a little bit.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Tony Snell, man. All right. Get the fuck out of my face, Tony Snell. Timestamp. The Clippers. We're looking at 3-1 in our last 4 wins over the Suns, Cavs, and the Jazz, and then they lost to the Suns on a full rest game, a Bones Highland masterclass with 37 points.
You guys missed.
Yeah,
you chose Jamal Murray over him, huh?
I know, and we're regretting it now. That's so crazy that happened. That he was like, I want to trade, and it's like, okay, Bones Highland. And I miss him because there's some highlight reels of him in garbage time with the Nuggets. So sick. The next Jamal Crawford, I'm sure. Paul George versus Cleveland. Oh, wait. Okay, so the big story this week is the Suns' first quarter in their real game where, like, Kawhi and everybody played. The Suns had 4 points for the first 10 minutes of the first quarter. The Clippers obliterated them for most of the game. The Phoenix did cut it to 8 in the fourth quarter, but that is as close as it got for the rest of the night. And then Paul George versus Cleveland, 39, 11, and 7 on 63% true shooting. Makes Evan Mobley fall down on the game winner mid-range pull-up. With that and the Jonathan Isaac shot earlier a couple weeks ago, he's got some of the tougher game winners in the NBA recently.
He's
Paul
so
George. I know. I don't think he'll be underrated. Maybe he will be.
He will be, I think. I was thinking about him. Is he like if Tracy McGrady worked out? Is that what he is?
I don't know. Because I feel like Tracy McGrady, probably a better scorer. That's what I feel like. I think he's probably just because like a lot of scoring is just being willing to take as many fucking shots as Tracy McGrady did, and Paul George isn't always about that. Like he's usually more of like an 18 shot per game guy. I think Tracy McGrady's a better scorer, but Paul George is like if you took all of Tracy McGrady's physical attributes and you put it into a guy that's like probably better suited to try and win an NBA championship, like Tracy McGrady would have to be your best player the way he played. Paul George, he does like between his defending and his playmaking and everything, I think he could pretty easily be your second or third best player and you would still have a nice shot to win the title. So yeah, he probably will be underrated as time goes on though, because he just has that one MVP finalist season.
Comment down below, guys. Peak Tracy versus Peak PG. Who are you taking? I might take Paul George, man.
Self lob off the backboard. I'm going T-Mac, baby. Oh, that was such a cool play. Oh my god. Yeah. What do you think about the Clippers this week?
Yeah, their playoff matchup against the Mavericks is set. What are our thoughts about that? Save it for next week.
Next week. We're not talking about it at all. So
next week, lock in your set your alerts now. You're in suspense. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard got hurt. Not good news, but good news. So I have a source. According to Tomer Azarli, I don't know who he is. He covers the Clippers as a credentialed reporter for Clutch Points.
Nice.
Kawhi underwent a precautionary MRI in LA, which did not show anything that would cause the Clippers significant concern. He left the road trip after soreness flared up versus the Hornets. And then he went back to LA for treatment rather than continue to Sacramento to face the Kings. Ty Lue was initially hoping he'd be back last Thursday against the Nuggets, but he has missed that game and every game since. But they are confident he will be back for the playoffs. So I'm praying that Kawhi Leonard, they're just taking it easy with him. Speaking of Kawhi Leonard, you know how I've talked about before the Mo Dakhil thing where he says like Kawhi Leonard's ideal defense is just one where there's everyone just plays defense, like you don't have to help. Patrick Beverley I just saw a clip today where he's talking about Kawhi Leonard in like the film study, and they're like, Kawhi, why didn't you got to switch on this? Why didn't you switch on this? And he's like, why doesn't the man just stay there? They're like, well, he can't guard him. And then Kawhi said, well, why is he in the game? So that's so good. And
oh my god.
Patrick Beverley said, where do you want me to throw you the ball on offense? Show me on the film. Like, when do you want me to get you the ball? And then I guess he like showed him when I cross half court, then I want you to get me the ball. So Kawhi Leonard is all business. He would hate playing with me. I'm such a bad defender. He would have to cover for my mistakes, and he would not be excited about it. But you know what? I would just pass to him the second he passed.
Yeah, I mean, half court. I'm not waving off Kawhi Leonard. The fuck do I look like?
Absolutely not.
That reminds me of I saw a Greg Popovich quote earlier this week where he was doing like postseason meetings. Like the season was ending and he was meeting with every player to like talk about what they should do going into the offseason. And Doug McDermott came in and he was just like, I don't need to talk to you about anything. You're one of the worst defenders I've ever coached, but you could shoot the hell out of that basketball. And so Doug McDermott left, and that's been the story of his career. Shout out Dougie McBuckets, baby.
He was drafted by a Tibbs team. He was in hell with Tibbs. Did not want to play him.
That's not really his play style. Him and Tibbs.
You know about the Nuggets trade with the Bulls? It was a big Nuggets trade.
No, what's inform me.
We traded. We wanted Doug so bad because here's the thing: we had Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah, and so we were thinking we just need a shooter. This would be epic if we had a shooter. Let's trade up for Doug McDermott. We need Doug McDermott. He's one of the all-time best college scorers ever. So we traded up with Doug McDermott to the Denver Nuggets. We gave you 2 picks so we could take McDermott. With those 2 picks, you got Yusuf Nurkic, Gary Harris.
Hey, Gary Harris, Nuggets legend. Shout out to him. Got us Aaron Gordon. So stepping stone to a title. That's what I will consider him.
No love for Nurkic, huh?
Bro, fuck Nurkic. Oh my God. No, Nurkic. We'll get to him. Nurkic, 100%. It was funny. He scored 3 points. He had like a double-double with rebounds and assists, and then he had 3 points in the same game earlier this week, and all the aggregate accounts that posted him were like 3 points, 100% field goal percentage. And it's like, yeah, no shit.
That's literally facts.
No shit, pal. I would hope you didn't fucking miss 3 points. Oh my God. But back to the Clippers. They're locked into the matchup with Dallas, completing the Luka trilogy. I said, feels like the Mavs are peaking. The Cavs, or the Clippers, are faltering pretty heavily. A little Freudian slip because the Cavs are doing that shit too. But Harden's last 15, he's been 13 points per game on 51% true shooting. And now you're going into a playoff series versus what's been an elite defense for 15 games. The Mavs have been playing really, really high-level defense lately, and he would probably end up guarding either someone who seriously outsizes him, which for Harden – pretty good post defender. If he ends up on like PJ Washington, I don't think it's the end of the world, but he should not be guarding Kyrie or Luka at this stage in his career. Absolutely not. That'd be horrific. So yeah, I don't know.
Counterpoint. Luka plays like him, so he knows all.
He knows all the ins and outs. Okay, yeah. He's gonna step back. But there's still not really a solution for that. Everyone knows he's going to step back. It takes him 3 seconds to step back, but it still goes in every time. So, yeah, I said the Nuggets win was good. They beat the Nuggets with no Kawhi, like you said. A good example of how advantageous Powell and Westbrook can be off the bench versus a team with, like, a shit backup unit, which the Nuggets backups played really bad.
Did Westbrook have the triple-double versus them?
I don't know. I think Westbrook and Powell combined for something like 30 points off the bench. That's what I know off the top of my head, but I can look it up for you real quick if you will fill air while my
Westbrook
computer
had a triple-double, and he said the words that I've been waiting for years. He said, "I'm the best bench player in the league." What a great sign. He's finally bought in. I'm finally back on Westbrook. It's been a long odyssey. I've been a Westbrook. I don't know if hater is the right word because I was a lover. I was a scorned Westbrook lover since about 20. After the first KD-less playoff series, who did they lose to first? Was it Donovan Mitchell first that he lost to? Or
yeah.
20. No, it was Harden first, right?
No, I swear. No, because Paul George was there when they lost to Donovan Mitchell. So yeah, it must have been James Harden. I think that was the year the Rockets were the 1 seed too. 2017.
Okay, so I think yeah, so I wasn't I was out on him after the Jazz series. I was like, there's got to be changes here, and then he has refused to make them, and now he's buying in.
He's making them, yeah. It was against the Suns. He had 16, 15, and 15 on for him, pretty good efficiency, 50% from 3. But yeah, against the Nuggets, he had 12.6 rebounds, 5 assists, a lot more recreatable stat line off the bench, and still super impactful. So yeah, him and Powell have played really, really well, but I just don't know how much that's going to help against the Mavericks. For their season grade, I gave them a B-. I said it's a tale of 3 seasons for the Clippers. Season number 1, the start of the year, through the 6-game loss right after the Harden trade. Season number 2 was right after that 6-game loss up until the All-Star break. They go 33-10. They're the best offense in the league. They're the 6th best net rating in that span. They averaged margin was 13 points per game. Their average margin of victory was during that 33-10 stretch. They had 19 wins by double digits, including 11 wins that came by 15 or more points.
Emergency interruption.
Oh, shit. Oh, what's
This
going on?
segment is brought to you by my car turning on because I got to close my windows. I'm getting rained on.
No.
All right, carry on.
God's smiting you because you put out Westbrook propaganda. That's the problem. Okay. Whoa. Can you hear me?
Yes, I accidentally hit airplane. I hit airplane mode on my phone, and it disconnected. It put me off the grid.
Oh my God, guys! If you're audio only, Pablo was just stuck in surprise face for like 3 or 4 seconds there, just like peeking over. Have you ever seen a Home Improvement?
Yeah,
You were like the neighbor. You were like the neighbor, like peeking over the fence. You were just like,
I was. Oh no, the Tim Allen show. I'm a
yeah.
Home Improvement hater.
Oh my
I'm
God.
thinking Extreme Home Makeover. Now that was good stuff.
Yeah, I
Move
mean,
that bus. You know that?
move that. Of course, I know Extreme Home Makeover, or I think it was Extreme Makeover Home Edition, whatever it's called.
Were there other? Yeah. Why did
I
they
don't know.
call
Were
it
there
that?
ever
Were there
other
others?
editions? That's what Pimp My Ride was originally pitched as, was Extreme Makeover Car Edition, but MTV picked it up instead, so they had to change the angle a little bit.
What was your main interest when you were 9 years old? What would they have built your bedroom into?
What grade are you in at 9 years old?
I think third grade.
Okay, third grade. I probably would have been locked in. I think I was still like a big baseball fan at that point.
Oh, I was too.
Yeah, for me it was.
Who were you rooting for in Nebraska?
I they put me on a little league team, and my little league team was the Mets, so I liked the Mets for a while. But
Shout out David Wright.
Now it's an attitude, baby. That's what we're locked into. They have a game tonight, but I won't be watching because I'll be watching the motherfucking Wizards beat up on the Chicago Bulls, baby.
Booyah.
Hashtag for the district. So for their season grade, so yeah, the 33-10 stretch, that fucking rocked. That was up until the All-Star break. And then from the All-Star break until now, they have been 11-12. They're the 10th best offense. They're the 18th best net rating. They stink. I think the Harden trade still technically worked, but to go from being like really contending hard for the 1 seed and looking like a team that is really in contention for winning the NBA title to where they're at now, that's not good. Yeah, like being locked into the 4-5 matchup with the hottest team in the league, that's shitty. So no momentum heading into the postseason versus a scary team. I'm trying not to be a prisoner of the moment because that 33-10 stretch was so good that like I tried to incorporate it. That's why they got a B-, but still not a perfect season from the Clippers by any stretch. I might even knock them down to a C+. I don't think they were that good. What do you got for them?
I'm more glass half full with this Clippers team. I gave them an A for the season because we got healthy Paul George and Kawhi for most of it. We did the Harden trade, and it looked like a disaster, but then it worked out for a little while, for a long time, and now it still might be okay. And
yeah, I will say the struggles lately don't feel like a byproduct of Harden's play per se. It feels like a deeper, like whole roster issue. And so I wouldn't like criticize the Harden trade through the lens of them being shit lately. I still think you make that trade most of the time.
Yeah, and so I think this is probably like, do you think this is the strongest team of this era of the Clippers?
I don't know. 2020 was a damn good basketball team, man.
Who did they? So they probably had better role players then. Who was there? Was Rondo point guard, or who was there?
In 2020, let me look it up. Phil Air, talk about some shit real quick. Let me navigate.
Let's see. Oh, PJ Tucker's winning over some fans again, it seems. So he's no longer their enemy. There was a picture of Ty Lue. He got caught checking out. He probably wasn't even looking at her, but there's this funny screenshot where it looks like Ty Lue is looking back at a fan and like a female fan, and it looks like he's like very impressed with her, and so they said he got caught lacking.
Oh my
and
god.
then so that picture was spreading around, and then I saw they were like, we're 3-1 in the caught lacking era. So,
oh my god.
so
All right.
things might be turning around.
I got the 2020 roster here. So you had Kawhi and Paul George, then you had Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
Both of them were playing really high level basketball. Zubats was still there, although he was only 22 years old. But he was still nearly a double-double. He was like 9 points, 8 rebounds ish a night. Then you still had Marcus Morris, who was playing pretty well. Marcus Morris was only 30 at that point. Patrick Beverly was still there. Landry Shamet was pretty solid for them, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I don't know. When you put all the role players out there like that, I think their depth was a little better. I think Harden has displayed that the ceiling of this team is higher, but getting this team to hit its ceiling in the postseason seems like it's going to be a pretty difficult feat. So I don't know. I still did have them in tier 2 contending based off that flash, but compared, I think they're one of the weaker teams in tier 2. So if we're already looking at like Nanami and Toto, I guess is Nobara grade 1?
I don't think so. Kusakabe, I think, and Meme might be the other grade ones.
Damn, fuck. They both feel. I guess I'll go Meme because
they
Meme got caught lacking too in that one weird panel. So
it might be she's like Josh Giddey. She's got pedophile allegations.
Yeah. So the Clippers, you guys can beat Meme because you're damn not Kusakabe. I'll tell you that much. You guys do not have the fucking swag for that.
Yeah, but I'm more optimistic about the Clippers, I think. But we'll see. We'll see going into our playoff preview. Who knows? Who knows what I actually think about that?
We got 2 more games. This could completely pivot. I mean, shit, man.
Harden drops 40-point triple doubles back to back.
I don't know. Who's to say?
They trade for Wemby?
Maybe. Oh, big. They break the rules of the trade. New trade deadline. They just implemented it.
Because Adam Silver's so caught up with Jonte Porter's gambling, he doesn't even realize.
Holy shit, the most pressing issue on the planet. Many people are saying this.
The Cardinal sin.
Cardinal sin of gambling. All right, I have to pause this. Hold on. Oh, to the Mavericks, baby. The Mavericks, 4-0 in their last 4. Wins over the Warriors, Rockets, Hornets, and Heat. They're the hottest team in the league. They're 16-2 over the last 18 games. They're the number 1 defense in the league over that span. Incredibly impressive turnaround after they were a shit defense right after the All-Star break for about 6 games. They were horrific, but they've been really good in those 18 games, and they're also the 4th best offense and the 2nd best net rating behind, obviously, the Boston Celtics in that span. They're also, in these 18 games, 6-1 in the clutch with an offensive rating of 129 in those clutch minutes. Luka and Kyrie both feel like an absolute buzzsaw. Where if you manage to get it out of the hot hand guy, if you get it away from whoever's hitting shots, it's still probably going to end up in the hands of one of the best tough shot makers in the entire league. So that's tough. And it's also they're feeling pretty Nuggets-esque lately with Luka, where the way Jokic just kind of guarantees you're getting a good shot every time down the floor. That's what it feels like when you watch Luka, especially with like Jokic. It's more so like if Jokic is going to bail you out, it's going to be a layup. It's going to be in that weird floater range where he's like 70% or whatever. A lot of the bailouts end up being like defenses are freaking the fuck out over Luka, and it just leads to like a Kyrie dribble drive to the rim where he can make something happen, and those feel like super efficient possessions as well. Real hot take there. Luka has surged in the MVP discussions. In these 18 games, he's 31, 10, and 10 on 60% true shooting. It's really hard for me to look at him as anything other than like a top 2, top 3 player right now. Like he's just been overwhelmingly good for a good long time now. I'm really excited to see him in the postseason. How are you feeling about the Dallas Mavericks?
I'm feeling good about him. There's no way to know how good I feel about his MVP chances or the playoff series. The only way to find out is by listening to
I think he'll win and he'll lose. You know, like a little Schrodinger's MVP. Until you watch the episode, he's really done both. If you think about it.
Stan Van Gundy says he's the best offensive player he has ever seen. I think.
Have you ever watched a Nuggets game, bro? Come on! Oh my god.
That's like there's like a famous Beatles quote who they ask one of the Beatles, do you think Ringo Starr's the best? Ringo Starr's the drummer, right?
Yes.
They ask him, do you think Ringo Starr's the best drummer in the world? And then the guy says, he's not the best drummer in the Beatles. So
dude, I will say I love your pop culture like Venn diagram, I guess. Like, it's like if I asked you about the weirdest fucking documentary I've ever, you'd be like, oh yeah, I love that. And then I'm like, Ringo Starr, the drummer of the Beatles. You're like, oh, I've heard of that guy. Yeah.
I don't know anything about the Beatles.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. The Beatles.
I like the movie where they don't exist and the guy makes the songs about them.
Oh, shout out to that guy. Is that the same guy who plays Nate from Ted Lasso?
I haven't seen Ted Lasso.
Don't watch it. Watch the first season. The first season's fine, Mr. But yeah, I don't know. Beyond that, I'm not exactly Ted Lasso pilled. I won't say that. You know what I am pilled? PJ Washington pilled. Last 10 games, 15.7 rebounds, 40% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. Really impactful for them defensively. Pretty versatile offensive weapon, especially when the shot is falling like this. He went 4 of 4 from 3 in the fourth quarter to help fuel Dallas to a 2-point victory. I don't think Luka played in that game, if I remember correctly. So they really needed all of his offensive production. It is funny that in this stretch, he shoots nowhere near 40% in any of these games. He shoots either 60% from 3 or 30% from 3. It's one or the other. And so, yeah, the averages bear out. He's good. So, I mean, fuck it. If you could get 60% from 3 from PJ Washington for 3 games in a 7-game series, I think Dallas would live with that. I think they'd be all right with that. What do you think about PJ? What do you think about, I don't know, the entire Mavericks roster? There's a lot of fun stories going on here.
There's a lot, but what's it called? Let's talk Luka, best offensive player ever.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
I think there is an argument for best on-ball offensive player ever. He's one of them. He's like he's in that tier already. It's not too early. But I do wonder about the off-ball impact because Thinking Basketball just did a video about this where Luka's on-off numbers throughout his entire career have not been great. Like the teams, there've been, I don't know what it is this year, but like there's routinely the team would play better with him. They would either play better or the same with him off the court versus on the court. Like it didn't really matter. Like when I was in the trenches sophomore year of Trae Young and Luka, I was like, when Luka's off the court, the Mavericks are the same team. When Trae is off the court versus on the court, it goes from the worst offense in NBA history to like a top whatever offense. But Luka, it never changed. And so that's something you see like DeMar DeRozan's Toronto tenure, and it might have continued. I think it continued up until his Bulls tenure. It might still be going on, but for many years, DeMar DeRozan was the guy where it was always his teams were better with him off the court than on the court, and it was like I don't know why this is. Like this guy, very clearly a good player, but for whatever reason, the numbers like. He's not making a difference in the on-off like over several years. So you got to wonder what's up with that. And it's been that way with Luka. And so he was trying to figure out what it was. And he's like, it might be the fact that it might be defense, number one. And then it might be the fact that when he's off the ball, not really much going on. Like he's like, when you think about him off the ball, he's like a worse. He's not. He's like he
He's
didn't say
he's
this.
waiting to get the ball back. That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
like he didn't say that. He said he said he's worse than the average off ball player. And in my mind, I was like, off the ball, Luka versus Reggie Bullock. Like you'd probably rather have Reggie Bullock
Yeah.
when it comes to off the ball. So he thinks that eats into his value as well.
Mhm.
But
Well,
he
when
did
you think about
say
like
the playoff numbers are different, and so that's where the saving grace comes in. But what are you gonna say?
I don't know. Like, okay, I don't have any numbers written down here, so this is all just like me imagining Luca off the ball. Catch and shoot 3-point shooter. I imagine he's very good at those, or at least above average. It feels like he's a really good 3-point shooter. And so, just in terms of like all these very broad categories, we can give him that as like an aspect
Just
of his off ball
stationary
game.
spot up shooter.
Yeah. Like Kyrie kicks it out to him, shot clock's running out, whatever, he shoots it. I feel like he's good at that. Is he a good cutter? No.
He could be, but he doesn't do
He
it.
could be because Jokic is. And like Luka is pretty objectively a better athlete than Jokic. So I think he could be a good cutter. He's like for a guy his size, he's fine at setting screens, but I don't think he's like really impacting the game super heavily from that aspect. And I don't think he's
and again he could like with the right like if he's setting screens for Kyrie, like he's big enough to make a difference with the players that would be involved in that action.
I saw a
he
good
could
tweet.
screen wings and guards it if he really wanted to, but he doesn't.
Yeah, like I saw a good tweet where it's like one thing that Gafford and Washington the trade has made you do is you have to put a guard on Luka at certain points, and you're just finished when that happens. Like a traditional guard is not going to stick with Luka. He's too big. There's too many spots that he's really effective from. That if you get him the ball with too small of a guy on him, it's just not going to affect his offense. And so, like, yeah, if you could get Kyrie's defender switched on to him routinely, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens there, but it just doesn't feel like something you notice a lot when you watch the Mavericks. So yeah, he's not super effective as a screener. He's not super effective as a cutter. He's good as an off-ball shooter. He's good.
When he sets screens, it's literally he just sits there. He wants to force a switch. He wants to force the defender to stick on him, and then he's like, "Give me the ball back. I got a good guy at it."
Moving screens aren't good, but I think moving screens can be an indicator of how badly somebody wants to set a good screen. A lot of the time is they're trying to get you. Like Gafford sets moving screens because he understands that if he sets a good screen, his role is going to be a lot easier to the basket. All of that shit. Luka, I mean, I cannot even imagine him like setting a moving screen. He is just kind of looking to get the switch, get the ball back, whatever. And the Mavs have been super successful, and I think this is what happens when you transcend into like the all-time great tier of player. Is like you can't just be all-time great at on ball if you want to be one of the 15 best basketball players of all time. Like we do start have to breaking your game down into like, can you do absolutely everything on the offensive end of the floor, especially if someone's going to call you the best offensive player they've ever seen. But yeah, I think on ball, I'm not mad at that. I don't care. Like when you watch some of the shit that he does on the ball on a night to night basis against every caliber of defense there is, it's fucking transcendent. It feels like you're watching I don't know. Young LeBron is in a good comp. Harden doesn't feel like that good of a comp to me. It feels like an amalgamation of like Harden and Larry Bird a little bit. And who's another like big body guy like that? Like big body guard forward type. I don't know. But it just feels like you're watching one of the greatest players of all time on ball when you watch him play.
Yeah, it's hard to met because like you think about him versus Jordan. Obviously, Jordan is not the passer that he was, but Jordan's a better scorer. But also, and Jordan's probably better off the ball at scoring. But historically, the offenses Michael Jordan has been a part of, I think produce higher relative to league average than Luka's. I don't know for sure. That's just a guess.
Yeah.
But then you throw in somebody like Steph Curry, and like the on-ball creation is elite for a guard, but still it's not Michael Jordan, it's not Luka level. Like there are times in the playoffs where he gets stifled, versus, and like LeBron versus those other guys, that doesn't happen to them as much on ball, and they're bigger, so there's not as much shut off from them. But like nobody has the impact that he has off the ball, like it's not even close. And then Jokic is probably the best at both, would you say?
Like,
And
you
then,
mean like the
like,
middle ground?
How do you feel about Jokic's off-ball game?
I think he's one of the greatest off-ball players in the league. In terms of as a screener, a roller, a catch and shoot guy. I don't know what he's shooting on catch and shoot, but it feels like he's really effective on those. And mostly just the fact that like you get Jokic off the ball, you're either getting like the best connective passer in the league. Like he's really, really good at making the extra pass, which Luka is too. I feel like we didn't touch on that. He's that's like an aspect of off-ball offense that he deserves. But you're also getting a guy that like if he just winds up with it in floater range, he's shooting like layup percentages on those shots. Or if you get a guy who drives and kicks and he catches it at the elbow, I think Jokic is the stuff Jokic does off the ball probably doesn't have the same gravity that like a Steph Curry or Damian Lillard 30-foot three-pointer does in terms of impacting the defense. But I think, comparing him, I think he's like probably LeBron caliber off the ball in terms of like how LeBron was a really good screener and a really good cutter and a really good lob threat.
I think Jokic is better than, I think LeBron's off ball. Like I don't think he's stacks up. I think he's got similar concerns to Luka. He's probably better, but I think like when you go into like those Miami years with him and Dwayne Wade, like they didn't really enhance each other. It was more so just like when he's off ball, he's kind of just watching Dwayne Wade. But when you have those two guys together, it doesn't really matter. Like whoever has the balls is doing great stuff. So I
would have loved to see, because Dwayne Wade's like he's a great passer. But
yeah,
like I would have loved to see LeBron with like Chris Paul or someone whose like entire job it is to set him up playing off the ball. But I think you're right. I think Jokic probably does a little bit more in turn. Like he's such a good shooter too that I mean LeBron was never really going to be a guy who's like constantly catching and shooting the basketball.
Yeah, and then like Kevin Durant is in there as like one of the best often, and like he doesn't have the passing, but just individual shot creation and then fitting off the ball anywhere. Like it's insane. So it is a really hard conversation. I don't know. I would probably already lean Jokic because I think it's probably the best degree of unstoppable on the ball, unstoppable off the ball, unstoppable passing the ball. But it's a hard thing. And like Steve Nash, Magic Johnson, it's hard.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. I think Luka's right in that conversation. Damn, that was like a solid. Ooh, we really break down ball on this podcast, baby. It's so funny how like we actually do like talking about basketball, but like it's niche shit like that. It's not like sometimes we get very off track.
Well, that was a GOAT debate. We just did a GOAT
there
debate.
we go. Boom. We are literally a historical podcast right now. All right.
We need to go on Player's Choice.
We could. Okay. I said, I have a little fast. I'm running through this. Kyrie, would you rather? I have some second options stacked up here for you.
Great off-ball player, Kyrie Irving.
Yes. Okay. Damian Lillard.
Right now or historically?
Let's say right now.
Right now, Kyrie's playing better.
Yes, that's what I said. Tyrese Maxey.
Kyrie.
Yes, that's what I said. James Harden.
Kyrie.
Yes, that's what I said. Jaylen Brown.
I like how you said, yes, that's what I said. like I have the correct answers. Let's see how you stack up.
Well, James Harden, I put Kyrie question mark. Because if you had asked me like middle of the year, James Harden or Kyrie, I'd be like, oh, fucking 18 and 10 on great
It was
efficiency.
pretty
James
good.
Harden,
It was pretty good.
like he might be the Clippers' best player, but since then, he's fallen off. Kyrie's up right now. I'll go Kyrie. Jaylen Brown, what do you think?
Jaylen Brown. See Kyrie.
Okay, I put Jaylen Brown, but I think
the wing effect.
Yeah, the wing. I don't know. Devin Booker.
Devin Booker's a better player, I think, still.
Yeah, I put Devin Booker too. I did have Steph Curry on there, but then I pivoted to being like second options only. So, and I said Steph Curry anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Season grade, I said B plus. I think I'll stick with that, but I have no problem if you call it an A. I think there was just so much tumultuousness with the health and the Grant Williams-ness of it all at the beginning of the season, all the way through up until like this really hot stretch. The same way I tried to not be a prisoner of the moment with the Clippers and how poorly they've played, I'm trying not to be a prisoner of the moment with the Mavs and how well they've played recently. So I called it a B plus season, and I said they're my highest tier 2 contender.
I said A minus for the season. I think it's gone well, all things considered, because this was a team that was like, did they tank? Last year they tanked out of the playoffs, right? To get lively.
Yeah.
So considering where they are, and then the post trade Mavericks, I think this is like as good as it's been during the Luka era, and you feel really good going into the playoffs. So I'm Mavericks pilled. I would say, I might have them grade 1. I might have them with OKC, and who else is in there? And Minnesota? Yeah, I would have Dallas in there. Wow.
That's where I have them. Yeah, I think they're the Kusakabe of this shit. Which, I mean, I don't know. Toto's probably more powerful, but I think we have several lobbyist requests. Is Daniel Gafford this generation's Wilt Chamberlain?
He has gone 21 shots without missing again.
Maybe we'll see him. Maybe we'll see him down the list. Who's to say?
We might see the record be broken again.
Yeah. Derek Jones Jr. propaganda. I did just want to shout him out. He has like a lot of plays every game where you're like, whoa, this guy's a real gritty, hustle, defensive-minded guy. Oh my God. Plus,
since him and Daniel Gafford have moved into the starting lineup, they're 16-2.
I mean, yeah. Gafford fucking rocks. Derek Jones Jr., he rocks. He's good. I think he's shooting the 3 pretty effectively this season, if I'm not tripping. But I might be.
I think he is. Derek Jones Jr., I checked last night. I think he is like 34%. So still.
That's higher than I thought he would have, though. I thought he was like.
Yeah,
I thought he was
like historically like 29 sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So 34 out of Derek Jones Jr. You can live with it. And then are the Mavericks the most likely team to beat the Nuggets in the West? Their insane win streak reminds me of the 21-22 Celtics, and I believe if you're going to beat the Nuggets, your offense just has to be better because you can't really stop them. I don't have a problem with that. I think they're probably the best competition for the Nuggets at this point. Maybe if Minnesota really gets rolling and you have like the double bigs thing to throw at Jokic, because I think Karl Anthony Towns trying to stop Jokic is a little bit different than Naz Reid trying to do it. Cat's just like a legit 7-footer, and then you still have Gobert lurking in the background. But if you're just looking for a straight up shootout, I think Dallas is going to be a tough out, and I think they probably match up with Denver. I don't know if they match up the best, but they can go bar for bar with them offensively. And they've been playing damn good defense lately. Like they could give Denver a little bit of trouble on that end.
I think that they probably are, because whenever you walk into a series against Jokic, every other team is like so when we go down the list of the contenders, like Minnesota, as much as we love Anthony Edwards, you're hoping, man, and I hope Anthony Edwards can try and match Jokic's impact, but probably won't. But he just needs to play great. We're gonna win with defense or whatever. What's it called? OKC. I want Shea to do as well as possible, but like it's going to be a big task for him to match Jokic. Maybe Kawhi, you're like, yeah, this is a guy I feel confident like head to head. But then like no other team, I don't think you can walk in with that. Like with the Mavericks, when you walk in with Luka, it is like you're like Gojo versus Sukuna. You're like
Yeah.
the domain clash. Like our domains are equally as refined. They have this guy who is unsolvable on offense. We have a guy who's completely unsolvable on offense. They have Jamal Murray. We have Kyrie.
They have
They
Kevin
have
Durant. We have
we have
we
Jaden
have Jaden
McDaniels.
McDaniels, baby. They do
And
have you go. Sorry.
they've got he's out for the playoffs. But yeah, now they just have this more. They have Derek Lively. They have Derek Jones Jr. They have Daniel Gafford. Dante Exum's playing well.
We
What's
didn't
it
even
called?
talk about his game winner or his
Yeah.
overtime shot. That was fucking crazy. Oh my
Sent
god.
it to overtime versus the Rockets. There's one more. Oh, Josh Green. Josh Green is coming back after missing 12 games. He is an athletic, good passer, shooting 40% from three on low volume. So they have all these like guys who can play defense and then be okay on offense. And then if PJ's been shooting well lately, and he's already been playing good defense, so they're peaking at the right time, and it feels like they're constructed similar. Like Nuggets, it's Aaron Gordon, it's Peyton Watson, it's Christian Brown, it's all these athletes and stuff. So it is. I would probably agree with that at that point. But OKC is great, and maybe I'm just. Oh, OKC might have a chance. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's still Dallas though. All right. We gotta fucking the game's at 7, and so I would like to be out the door in like an hour and 10 minutes. So we gotta fly through.
We got a rapid fire. How many
All
teams?
right. Damn, and I have so much shit written about the rest of these teams. The Pelicans, fucking timestamp. An hour 50 in, we're at like the 5 seed. All right. The Pelicans, 3-1 in their last 4, lost to the Spurs without Zion, wins over the Blazers, Suns, and the Kings. They've secured the 6th seed with the win over the Kings, the most road wins in franchise history. Zion has been really aggressive lately. He's been a really good defender lately. What are you thinking about the Pelicans?
Oh, wait, are they guaranteed no plan?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, epic. Yeah, they Brandon Ingram is gonna come back versus the Lakers. Trey Murphy played 45 minutes against the Kings. That was crazy.
He's a grinder. He's a gamer, baby. Friend of the
Friend
program.
of the program. He's gonna be on next week, guys. Tune in, subscribe to the Patreon. He'll be on next week. Zion's defensive motor has been ramped up like over the past like month or so, maybe longer. I don't know. But he had 5 blocks versus the Suns. He had 3 steals and a block versus the Kings. He's just been more engaged, flying around more. Jose Alvarado's had a couple big games here. CJ McCollum in April, 28, 6 and 5 on 60% true shooting. April flowers bring CJ
showers. CJ
Showers.
McCollum showers.
3-point showers.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm Pelicans pilled too. I'm really rooting for the Pelicans. Maybe Zion. I'll tell you what. Jokic doesn't want to absorb those blows. I'll tell you that much. He doesn't.
I don't know. I think Jokic, in terms of like can take Zion to the chest 10 times a game. Jokic is probably pretty good. Like he's pretty burly.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns doesn't want that. Chet, holy shit. Chet would be hospitalized. I'm not sure how well that's going to go. But yeah, I'm Pels pilled. I love them. I love where Zion's at lately. Just for fun, he took 21 shots against the Kings. He went 13 to 21. In the 16 other games this season where he's taken 20 or more field goal attempts, he's averaging 28.5 points per game and 6 assists per game on 59% true shooting. So fucking
59.
59. I mean, it's garbage. Get him out of here. He's on his way out of the league. This is like Michael Beasley volume scoring. It doesn't matter. Which I don't even think he ever really hit his volume scoring in the league. But whatever, who cares? You touched on everything I had written down. CJ McCollum's been insane. 47% from three on nearly 11 attempts per game. I don't love the clutch situations where they have him just like it's like CJ Cook and Zion play off the ball. To me, it should be straightforward. Zion is cooking and CJ is playing off the ball, but there have been some spots where it's been inverted and it's gone really poorly for New Orleans. But other than that, I like everything that's going on right now. I gave them a B for the season. Healthy Zion rocks. Herb Jones, fuck it. I'm giving him an A. I'm giving him an A.
Whoa!
Yeah, first upgrade. I'm too positive in the moment. Herb Jones, all league defender. He made the leap. Great seasons out of pretty much everyone 26 years old or younger. Feels like the most comprehensive season they've put together in the Zion era, both from a play style and a winning standpoint. He's continually gotten more aggressive and ball dominant as the season has gone on. It feels like New Orleans has gotten better as that's progressed. To be honest, this would have been a good season even if you just got all the Zion stuff. But the additions of what Herb Jones have done, what CJ's done, what Trey Murphy has done, while Brandon Ingram has maintained his production and has even progressed as a passer a little bit, like all of that on top of a healthy, progressive Zion season, it fucking rocks. It's really good. Contender, I think they're probably, I wrote down contender 3, like third tier contender here. I don't know, man. I could be swayed on that if they have a really good first round. I'll say that much. I'm kind of curious how Ingram slots back into all of this, but regardless, I really like where they're at.
I think they're with the Clippers and who else? There's one more team in there, no? I don't know. They're with
my tier 2, so my tier 1 is Denver, my tier 2 is Mavs, Thunder, Wolves, and Clippers. But now that you mention it, maybe Clippers and Pels. Clippers should slot down one and be next to the Pelicans. I think they're the same caliber of team.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm too high on the Wolves. I don't know. But I'm excited about the Pelicans. I think they have a legit chance to win every series that they're in. It's unlikely. Like if they walk into Denver, I'm not gonna bet on them to win. But I wouldn't be like, it's Leicester City in 2016. It's a miracle. No, I'd be like that. Zion in them, Trey Murphy in them. That's they're good.
Yeah, like if you told me Trey Murphy just shot like 48% from three for a series while Zion was being super aggressive and their defense held up, I'd be
there's
like,
4 guys in the paint. Trey Murphy's getting 15 open threes a game.
Yeah, I think they do have a pretty solid shot at all their series. So shout out to the fucking Pels, man. Super fun team, super fun season. Yeah, and get them out of my face. 156 timestamp. The Suns 2-2 in their last 4. Beat the Clippers. Beat the Wolves. Lost to the Pelicans. Lost to the Clippers. Also, they scored 4 points through 10 minutes of the first Clippers game. It was embarrassing. What do you think about Phoenix?
What do I think about Phoenix? Let's see. What do I think about Phoenix? Where are my notes on Phoenix? Okay. C for the season. Not the best. They made a big splash for Bradley Beal. Hasn't quite worked out. This month they beat the Pelicans, lost to Pelicans. Beat the Clippers, lost to Clippers. Beat the T-Wolves, beat the Cavs. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions about this team. There was a thread on their subreddit. It said, "What are you tired of about this team?" And so I'm going to read you some of the answers that people said, what they're tired of about this team. I'm so tired of the lazy passes that lead to turnovers. I'm tired of the lack of movement on offense by non-ball handlers. Like, freaking cut, move, something, anything. I'm tired of the lack of urgency to get back on defense. I'm tired of Eubanks spiking the ball instead of grabbing the rebound. Another guy said, I'm tired of not knowing what to expect. Another guy said, the same guy, he said, for all his faults, we never had to worry about what to expect with Chris Paul when he was here. It was always the same thing. Yeah, I'm disappointed that the pride he takes in approaching every game with the appropriate respect has not rubbed off on Devin Booker. Wow. This guy said, I'm tired of this team being so predictable on offense. It's just handoff to KD, Book, Beal. hold the ball for 10 to 12 seconds, do a dangerous cross-court pass to Grayson or Eric Gordon causing a turnover. It's just not fun. The Suns have been fun even when they didn't have such talented players. This team is the opposite of fun, and I'm tired of it. And so, yeah, that when they do play with like pace and urgency and the ball's like pinging around, they are incredibly difficult to stop. But yeah, I'm in on them in the play-in because I just think in a single game format they could beat anybody. But as far as a playoff series, I don't see them winning a playoff series against anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, if the NBA was like March Madness, I'd be fucking terrified of them because like the hot hand potential of this team, we already saw it last year with Booker and Durant versus the Nuggets. It's sky high, but
during the biggest there was like a third quarter or something, right, when they both went crazy. I left at halftime to get McDonald's, and then the line was so long, I was in the drive-through during the crazy moment, so I missed it.
Wow. You got to put it on StreamYard on your phone in your car. That's the play, man. Come on. Yeah, I said since the All-Star break, Booker, Beal, and KD have appeared in 17 games altogether, all three of them. In these 17 games, 2 out of 3 of the stars, so 2 out of Beal, Booker, Kevin Durant, have scored at least 25 points just 8 times. So in terms of like the offensive approach being, we have 3 of the best offensive players on the floor. We have 3 of the best scorers in the league, and we're just gonna fucking play you off the floor that way. Like, we have guys that you can't stop from making tough baskets. That approach has not really worked in recent weeks. Doesn't feel like it's worked really well all season. Weird trends. Last 10 games, they've been the 6th best defense in the league, but just the 20th best offense. So I think the reality of this team is somewhere in between those two things, where they have all this potential on offense. Their game-to-game floor is not as high as the potential would suggest. And then I think they can be surprisingly good defensively, but they don't really string together high-level defensive possessions, really, much less like games of high-level defense. Letter grade, I gave them a D+. Health issues have plagued Phoenix all year, but even when they've gotten all the best players on the floor together, the results have not been revolutionary. They've gotten on the floor more over recent weeks. Like I said, like the 17 games together, that's more than like traditionally they've played through a 20-game stretch or whatever all season. But it just doesn't feel like you routinely see Durant, Booker, and Beal all scoring like 25, 30 points in a game together, or even like surpassing their season averages in the same game. Like, if you come through the game logs, Booker is like 27 points per game. It doesn't feel like he's hitting 28 points in a game where Durant scores 32 or 33 all that often. Like, it feels like their averages are very much a byproduct of one of them going off and then having a game where they put up like 23 on just like okay efficiency. It doesn't feel like we're hitting firing on all cylinders at the same time. And then my final note, I said combine that with a lack of real role player production, kept afloat almost entirely by overperforming Nurkic, who has been good this season, performing better than I thought he would. I'll give him that. And then like career year from Grayson Allen. You are left looking back on the Beal trade, not entirely regretting it, but like,
I think they probably regret it, honestly.
There's just like really looming questions at the best scenario. I don't know if you regret it, because like, what else are you going to do with Chris Paul?
I don't know, because how many years? There's years left on this, right? On his
his like
contract.
They're locked into this for a fat minute.
Like, is he guaranteed? Is it like a guarantee? Like, who's better? Is Bradley Beal better this year than Chris Paul? Maybe.
I would say probably, but fuck. Like, is he better for this team than Chris Paul? Like does this team need another like solid scorer, or do they need like somebody who runs an offense really sharply?
If you were on the if you could swap Chris Paul out for Bradley Beal off the Warriors bench, would you do that?
Almost certainly. I think him off the bench is insane. But yeah, like what the Warriors would be asking him to do versus what the Suns are actively asking him to do and what each roster needs. Like the Warriors, Steph's been the only guy who's been able to create on ball besides like part of Kuminga for pretty much the whole season. And so like to add Bradley Beal as an on ball creator, I think that would do a lot for what the flaws of that team are, but it just doesn't really fix what the flaws of Phoenix are. So yeah, I have them tier 3 contender also. Like we talk about the very high ceiling. If you get Devin Booker, the hot hand, if you get Kevin Durant, the hot hand, there's not a lot any defense can do to stop those guys from scoring. But if they're just playing at like a normal level, it's I don't know. It's a whelming team. I won't call them overwhelming. I won't call them underwhelming. They just whelm me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think probably let me fire up the laptop, see if I have anything left, because I have to keep turning it on and off because it's low battery.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I've got nothing left. Get them out
All
of
right,
our face.
perfect. 204. Get them out of our face. The Sacramento Kings.
The Sacramento frauds.
Yeah, the Sacramento Dingleberries. The Dings.
Oh.
Yeah, 1-3 in their last 4. They beat the Nets. Congratulations. They lost to the Pelicans, Thunder, and the Celtics. Just 1-4 in their last 5 games. They are officially locked into the play-in tournament with the loss to the Pelicans. Will they make it out? Doesn't feel great. They're 0-5 against the Pelicans this season. That's the first time that's happened since the Heat versus the Nets in 1995-96, nearly 30 years ago.
Just for anyone to go 0-5 versus an opponent? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you think about it, playing anybody 5 times, like you played the Wizards 5 times, you play the Pistons 5 times, you probably beat them all 5 times, but it's still like hard to beat even a horrible team 5 times. And so like a team, much less a team that's talented, like the Kings are good.
How did no one beat like the process Sixers 5 times?
I don't know. Damn. This is something that I just like saw on Twitter and Googled, but maybe somebody did do the process Sixers 5 times. I don't know. Yeah, other than that, they blew a 20-point lead to the Thunder. They're 14th in offense and defense on the season. That feels pretty representative of what I watch when I see them. Just like pretty mid on both ends of the floor. I gave them a C- grade for the season. It feels so like I gave the Suns a worse grade, even though the Suns season feels bad because there were all of these expectations heading into it. There weren't as many expectations heading into the Kings season. It was just kind of this idea that we are sticking with what we had last season, and that has come up short in what the Western Conference has turned into this year, just like this bloodbath of teams pushing 50 wins. It's not enough what they have. All the cool clutch shit they had last season has evaporated. Sabonis has had a good season. He had that double-double streak that just ended. That was really cool. I do think he's the most valuable player on this team. I think he has kept them afloat from being much worse than they could have been, just like with his very reliable production. But the ceiling he provides isn't insane. Fox has still been one of the better guards in the league. His three-point shooting has been like a huge leap this year. He's 37% on nearly 8 attempts. But I don't know. It doesn't matter. The West is too good for any of those are moral victories at this point almost. And then you are still starting Harrison Barnes. So yeah, that's especially when you watched him try to guard Zion. Holy fuck. Like he could not do it. So the vibes are just bad. I have him as a tier 4 contender.
And it's crazy because it's like they definitely took a step down, but it wasn't a substantial step down, but it's just relative to everyone else in the West who took like a step up that it feels really bad. Because when I think about like Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray this year, those are like revelations. Like if they could have had them playing at the level they are now last year, I probably would have felt different about that team. Like these are two like really high level defenders, and Keegan Murray for stretches has been a complete sniper.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I only wrote 2 things. I wrote they're cooked, and I do not respect Aaron Schroeder. So, and I
don't respect him.
A C for their season. I think we didn't have high expectations, but I think they did. I think Kings fans had high expectations and they were not met.
Yeah. Shout out to Keon Ellis, though. He has played well. Reverse shout out to Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter, shout me out, man. I wanted him to be
Kevin
good.
Huerter, shout me out.
I wanted him to be good. Post Atlanta, when they trade, I was like, oh, this is a big move. And it was for a while. Like, he was such a
Yeah.
good shooter. And now just not the level of offensive player that you need to be to kind of justify how mid he can be on defense. So, yeah, not good. Get him out of my face.
Get him out of
Timestamp.
Timestamp
The
that.
Warriors. Hey, they jumped the Lakers, baby. 3-1 in their last 4. They beat the Jazz, the Lakers, the Blazers, and then they lost to the Mavericks. They have officially clinched a play-in spot earlier this week with their win over the Rockets, which didn't even make their last 4. Season grade, I gave him a C. I think Steph's age is really starting to show, but he could still be the best offensive player on the floor on any given night. And his age also wouldn't show so much if he wasn't the only thing the Warriors had going for them offensively for long stretches during this season. Draymond's a psycho, still one of the best defenders in the game. Kuminga, his emergence has been really good. Pods and Trace Jackson-Davis emerged as really solid role players, but overall, I just think kind of like with the Kings, how the step forward by Fox and his three-point shooting, it's not enough in this Western Conference. In this Western Conference, you can't spend the first half of the season figuring out your winning recipe and then still expect to be like a high tier team, because they have been
your defensive anchor can't try and kill people and then miss 2/3 of the season.
He can't need therapy. Therapy has to be an off-season thing in this Western Conference.
It's fake therapy, and it's still
it didn't work because he still he tried to fucking choke slam Patty Mills or whoever it was. But yeah, they've actually, since the All-Star break, they're top 10 in offense, defense, and net rating. But like I said, it doesn't matter in this West. Like, you're really just gonna tread water if you dig yourself that deep of a hole at the beginning. I have them as a tier 4 contender. And then we do have a lobbyist request. Warriors should honestly start rebuilding. Team is not good enough to compete, especially with Memphis coming back. Trade everyone, including Steph. Parentheses, melting sad face. Like, oh. All right. What do you think about the Warriors?
I am not trading Steph. I'm riding him into the ground. I will go out with Steph. Yeah, that is not going to happen for me. The rest of them, we'll see. But yeah, I'll speed run all my Warriors things. C for the season. It's a well-known fact that every Warriors title came during a year that Kendrick Lamar dropped an album. Kendrick is now writing a movie with Trey Parker and Matt Stone that will be released in 2025. So, if there's an album dropped with that, then maybe the Warriors will win in 2025. So there's some optimism for you. Steve Kerr, there was that graphic released by NBA University about the best and worst coaches at coaches challenges. Steve Kerr is the worst coach in the league at challenges. Klay Thompson in April, 24 3-3 on 67% true shooting. Pretty good stuff. Wiggins has been shooting 42% from 3 since February, so that's huge, because he's been like a non-factor on offense for a lot of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond was 5 for 7 from 3 against the Lakers. He's now at 40% on the year at 2 attempts a game, so feels like such a waste to have this season where Draymond is capable from 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still bad. On Mind the Game, LeBron was talking about the Warriors, and he said Steph is most dangerous when he doesn't have the ball. Guarding Steph is uncomfortable, and the problem with our league is that guys don't want to be uncomfortable. And so Golden State will always be relevant because they play this style of basketball that nobody else plays, and that's hard and annoying to play against. So that's interesting take. Yeah, I said, do I dare be back in? Because they had some good moments lately.
Mm-hmm.
Against the Lakers, they had a season high 26 made 3-pointers and 12 blocks.
Jeez.
And,
so what does in mean for you? Do you think they could beat the Timberwolves?
it would be a possibility.
Oh,
In my mind, it would be a possibility if they, let's
okay.
say, they beat the Lakers and they look good. Like I think it would be possible. I would be locked into that series. I would.
I don't even think.
I think it would be a competitive series.
I don't even think they could. I guess they would have to play the Nuggets, really, because if you're in the 9-10 slot, like you're only playing for the 8 seed.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Nuggets, they're not going to beat the Nuggets, but it would be a fun series to watch. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, what's the Suns at right now? Okay. So the Kings the Kings, Lakers, and Warriors are all sitting at 45 and 35 right now. So if the Warriors could jump Sacramento into the 7-8 matchup and beat Phoenix, they could snag Minnesota in the first round, which feels way more doable. I mean, it's still probably a loss, and it'd be impossibly difficult, but it feels a lot more doable than the Nuggets.
Yeah, that would be the only path forward, I think. But yeah, Trace Jackson Davis, Pajimski, they've been playing well. They have a lot of guys on this team that it's just, yeah, it was hard to playing catch up, but we'll see. I don't know. I just always want to root for Steph. I just see him on the court and I'm like, good things are going to happen.
Wow. Yeah, enough stuff hasn't broken his way. It's kind of sad. He never has any luck. All right, get him out of my face. The Lakers, baby. Speaking of wasted season, 2-2 in their last 4. They beat the Wizards. They beat the Cavs. They lost to the Warriors. They lost to the Timberwolves. I think they're locked in at the 10 seed. I believe that's what I saw because of the way that the tiebreakers and everything works out. But the way, if they're all at 45 and 35, I don't know how that works out. The seeding shit confuses me a little bit. Anthony Davis is day to day with an eye injury. Not a great time for that to happen. LeBron went for 33 and 11 on 68% true shooting, and you still got like shot out of the gym by the Warriors, so that's not great. Hachimura still rocks, 17 points per game on 66% true shooting, 45% from 3 since the All-Star break, so he's been playing really high-level basketball. And at the end of the day, I think for this team to be a title contender, they would need to be so overwhelmingly good offensively that their really mid defense just doesn't matter. And I think the reality of this team is that they're just like a good offense, a good to great offense even, but they're not like an overwhelming offense. I still wouldn't want to play LeBron and AD. I think they can be a little bit better defensively than they've shown this season if you just get them into a matchup with like one team and everything, and you get like LeBron locked in every single night and all that shit. But I still gave him a C for the season. It's easy to look at the recent months of high-level offense and be like, well, this kind of worked out pretty well. But this team was exactly 500 through 50 games, even with LeBron and Anthony Davis missing a total combined 10 games through the first 50. So it's an unprecedented season health-wise as far as like the LeBron and Anthony Davis tenure with the Lakers, and they just have not capitalized on it at all. So it feels, I don't know. If they had the right pieces in place to use this health that they've gotten out of LeBron and AD, this could have been a special season for them. And like I said, I still don't want to play LeBron. That's never going to be fun. You're never going to feel super easy playing against him. But I have him as a tier 4 contender.
Yeah, another team, I think Minnesota's possible if they were to get in a series. I think it's possible for them to win. But overall, probably not betting on it. Shout out to a friend of the program, Jackson Frank. He wrote a great article on the Basketball Insiders about how Rui Hachimura has transformed this Lakers team. Basically, they swapped him out for Taurean Prince, and the difference comes not from the three-point shooting, because Taurean Prince is just a fine spot-up shooter. It comes in the off-the-bounce game. Rui Hachimura can just do more as attacking closeouts, just driving at on the weak side when defenses are loading up on LeBron and AD on the other side. They swing it out to Rui. He attacks, can play, make, can finish. He's shooting like 73% of the rim or something crazy. So probably should have made that decision earlier. Darvin Ham probably out after this year, I would imagine. The fans have hated him all year long. I'm seeing reports that the players wanted someone else like Chris Handy or whatever, like I think like a player development coach they wanted to take over. So
a classic LeBron puppet coach. Fuck, I'm trying to think.
just make LeBron the head coach. Just
That'd be
player
so
coach.
based.
Just do
Oh
it.
my god.
Just do it. He's already doing it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just pull the trigger, guys. Come on. Stop.
Could we get a sneaky Rondo head coach in there next year?
Oh, that'd be so. Dwight Howard, head coach. Lock it in. Let's go. He wants to be back in the show. Let's get him in here.
I wonder how well, like Dwight Howard on Mind the Game. I would be interested to see how he talks and thinks about basketball. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Because he's, I don't know. Draymond.
He was an all-time great defender,
mm-hmm.
but I think it was in a less complex era where.
Well, even if it wasn't like I was going to say, Draymond has to be so smart because all of his physical tools can only be maximized through like knowing exactly where to be at exactly the right time. Whereas Dwight Howard, all of his physical tools can be maximized by like, oh, this guy's about to take a layup. I'm going to jump from 5 feet outside the paint, and I'm still just going to completely fucking erase it, and it won't matter. There does need to be a certain level of intelligence that goes along with that, but you don't need to be like Draymond caliber defensive genius or like Tim Duncan caliber defensive rotations to do all that shit that Dwight was doing. So I don't know.
And he wasn't offensively like Draymond's a great passer. Like Dwight was pretty limited on offense and like. He
Shout out to the bank shot, man. Dwight Howard's post-up bank shot. That's a shot that never exists in this era. It's so sad.
Yeah, he didn't want to roll, so how smart could he be? He didn't realize how good he could be as a roller.
I guess not. What tier are they in for you? We're in like firm grade 2 sorcerer right now.
Who are we talking about? Oh yeah, the Lakers. Dwight Howard didn't make the playoffs in his Taiwanese league or whatever, where every team makes the playoffs except one.
Holy shit! Okay, damn, Dwight.
Also, didn't he assaulted someone? I think, or like, yeah.
Don't do that, Dwight Howard. Come on.
There was a case. So I haven't kept up with it. So just firmly, we don't support Dwight Howard as the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Doesn't have my vote.
Yeah, the Lakers, they're in the same tier as the Warriors, where Minnesota possible. I don't know what grade this would be. Who are the grade 2 sorcerers?
Maybe Nobara.
What is
Let me look it up. Yuji's firm grade 1 now. I think he's probably close. I mean, active in the manga. He's probably fucking special grade. Grade 2 sorcerer Jujutsu Kaisen.
They might be like Takaba. Like they're
we're looking at like Panda realm. Mekamaru straddles the line between second and third grade. Whoa, in this so this is a Panda ranking that he put out himself, and it has Megami as a grade 2. So I don't know if he's Megami grade 2.
All right, you know what? I think they're Megami grade 2, and there's a possibility they could summon Maharaga. But if they don't, then but if they summon Maharaga, they could win.
Maharaga, that's 25 shots for D'Angelo Russell. That's what Maharaga is. All right, get him out of my face. Time stamp. We're looking at 222, and we're looking down the barrel of the Houston Rockets. 1-3 this week. They beat the Magic. They lost to the Heat, the Mavs, and the Jazz. They're 1-6 over their last 7 since Dallas snapped their big little win streak. That win streak is looking more and more like a case of a capable team beating a lot of mid opponents in a row with some like gritty, fun wins mixed in. What are we grittying? Other than that, they're officially out of the play-in. I gave their season a B- over the course of the whole year, where you look at Houston was at last year, like one of the worst teams in the league, going to a team that's now like they made a serious push for the play-in, which I don't think they would have won in, but it's fine. They didn't give up after the Şengün injury. You got big steps forward from a lot of your young players. Dylan Brooks, redemption year. He looked solid. Fred VanVleet looked fine. You had to spend that money on somebody. Yeah, I don't know. They're fine. And, so this is where we go from contender tiers to rebuild tiers for me. And I put them in rebuild tier A because I like Şengün a lot. But I don't know. What do you think about him?
I like everything. So how do we feel about Jalen Green's stock right now? Where are you at on Jalen Green? Are you was it a month or was it like a week or 2 weeks?
I think it was 13-ish games. So
13.
I think it's about a month.
So with Jalen Green's month, how do you feel? Are you like, yes, that's the glimpse, that's what he will be, that's what he could be, so I'm all in on him? Or are you thinking, let's sell high, let's try and get Mikal Bridges with this guy, or let's try and get someone else?
I don't want to get Mikal Bridges with him because I want the team to be good when Şengün is 26. Like, that's my vision.
Well, Bridges is young.
Mikal Bridges?
2018 draft.
Mikal Bridges is like 27 right now, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he was an older prospect, but let's see. How?
Yeah, he's 20. He's 27. His birthday is in August. So
yeah, I think that's fine.
He'll be 28. He'll be 28 at the start of next season. And
I think he's got years till the fall off.
I guess.
Prime.
If the choice is between adding Mikal Bridges or holding on Jalen Green, I would probably hold on Jalen Green. But if you could get a nice young guy for Jalen Green, I don't know. I think I'd probably hold on him. I think there's a lot of good stuff. I think the truth of who he is probably somewhere between this stretch and like how rough his start to the season was. And a lot of that is like you're adding two guys who use the ball a lot in Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet. VanVleet especially. Plus you're adding guys like Thompson. There's just a lot of shit going on. So I like Jalen Green. I'm big on Jalen Green. I would probably hold him as opposed to moving him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that what we saw was real. I think it could work out. I think I might like trading him for both, because I also would like to see him in a change of scenery, because it could get crowded there in Houston. So I would, if he was like the guy on the Nets, might be cool.
Could be cool. Cam Thomas, get the fuck out of there.
Oh,
speaking of get out, get the fuck out of my face. Timestamp 226. The Jazz. Hey, this is your guy, Cook. 1-3 in their last 4. They lost to the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Warriors. They beat the Rockets. The season grade is a D for me because they didn't play Ice Bryce enough. And the rebuild grade is an A++ because they have Ice Bryce. Cook, what do you want to say about Bryce Sensabaugh?
Well, first off, I would like to demand an apology from you. Apologize to me for being mean to me about Ice Bryce.
Okay, I'm sorry. He played well this week.
This week? How about the entire month of April?
What are his averages?
So that's this week, basically. 11, 5, and 3 on 57% from 3. 61% true shooting. He was moved to the bench, and unironically, this is good. This is a positive thing, because when he's in the starting lineup, he's just relegated to being the fifth man, just standing in the corner, because it's the Keontae George show. It's the Colin Sexton show. It's, oddly enough, it's the Luka Samanic show, which he has been playing well, but he's like, they're running it through the post. Like when he's out there with the starting lineup, it's just shackled to the corner, and then try and play defense. He's looked pretty rough on defense lately. So Johnny Juzang has been put into the starting lineup. I'll tell you what, Jazz fans, Johnny Juzang, little interesting, little built up his body, looking like he's got some mass on there. If he can make some threes, he'll be interesting. And he was a good mid-range shooter in college, not Ice Bryce level, of course.
The GOAT mid-range shooting prospect, a lot of people have called him.
Of course, everyone's saying it. It's sweeping the nation. But Johnny Juzang might be an interesting piece for them going forward. Jason Preston only played 6 minutes the other night, but like they went on a run when he was in there. I love Jason Preston. I think that could be as a piece for them going forward as well. But yeah, Bryce Sensabaugh off the bench when he's able to create off the dribble, when he's given that freedom. I think it's looking good. It's looking good. So they play tonight. Finally, they have a back-to-back. It feels like they get more rest than any other team because I'm
God
fiending
damn
to
it.
watch them. But they finally get a back-to-back. He's playing the Clippers tonight. So
Bones
go Bulls.
Highland versus Bryce Sensabaugh. Who do we
Oh
got?
my God! Shootout of the century. This is gonna be epic.
Damn. It's
Shout
funny
out
to
Utah Jazz.
It's funny to imagine the most rest in the league because like Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson all season just exhausting themselves, getting to the paint and shooting every possible shot they can. And the NBA is like, get your rest. You need to be able to do that again in 2 days, in 3 days. So just rest up, and we don't want anybody off your bench going too crazy. So just
Shout out Jordan Clarkson, basketball terrorist, but he has sat out like the last month or so. So
there you
thank you.
go. So he's making amends. Get him out of my face. The Grizzlies 1-3 in their last 4 timestamp. Win over the Pistons. Loss is to the Lakers, Spurs, and Cavs. All-time record set for the most individual players suiting up for a franchise, extended to 33 for Memphis this season. Jake LaRavia 30-piece. My season grade was an F. Everybody's hurt, so this isn't like a genuine F, but it's an F nonetheless. The season sucked. They were pretty much always really bad to watch. You still get Gigi Jackson out of the deal, and that's fun. And everybody who matters should be healthy and ready to go by next season. So this year is a wash that has positive takeaways. It's still an F nonetheless. You can find a silver lining in anything. I put them as NA for a rebuild contender. For a rebuild tier or a contender tier. They're not in any tier. They're in their own like weird limbo where when I think about Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane and everybody, they're not rebuilding anymore. They're a team that like with a one right break could make the conference finals pretty easily. I feel like they're a very talented basketball team. But yeah, just nobody's healthy right now. So they're not rebuilding, but they're also not contending. What do you think about Memphis?
I give them a B because they have not had a chance all season long. Everyone has been injured like at different times, and like John Morant's suspension injury, like they've legitimately never had a chance where they could go on a streak this season. Like there's no stretch in the season where it was reasonable to expect them to win any game. So all things considered, I think you walk away from this season with Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams, and a high pick. So, and you just got to see more of what your role guys can do, like in these situations. So, I think in general, I think it's a positive season going forward, building. Ja Morant, they ruled that him punching that kid was self-defense. So
hell yeah, beat up more teenagers. Let's get it.
that kid. I hate that kid. They started their 50th different starting lineup. So it was Scottie Pippen Jr., Jordan Goodwin, Gigi Jackson, Brandon Clark, and Trey Jemison.
Shout out to Brandon Clark for making it back from the ACL injury.
He's like, I got to make history. I got to get my name on this sheet.
Yeah.
Mark Gasol got his jersey retired, so that was a cool little moment. Mike Conley flew in. Dylan Brooks, when talking about Mark Gasol, which it feels weird that they overlapped. I don't know why.
That is insane.
He said, I'll never forget my whole rookie year when you were calling me fool the whole time. Never said my name once. So epic take from Mark Gasol.
Epic take. He knew Dylan Brooks was a goober way before everyone else. Hell yeah. We have one lobbyist request here. I'm flying through it though. Might need to take a look at Jaren Jackson Jr.'s development. Should they run him at center or power forward? Debate is going strong. It's not a debate for me. They should probably run him at power forward. He's not really that good at a lot of stuff you need your center to be good at, unless you want to get like a really high rebounding power forward. I think him and Brandon Clark as a front court are going to be a bitch to score on at the rim if they're playing at the same time. I'm not like he doesn't do a lot of the Steven Adams fixes in terms of rebounding, in terms of physicality.
And he's a little small too, as well.
Yeah, he's
like
thin.
6'8".
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't like neither one of them set particularly good screens, which that feels like an underrated part of why Ja Morant getting downhill was so scary, is because Steven Adams would literally just like peel his defender off of him on screens and you would be just completely out of position. That's going to be a little bit different heading into the next season. But yeah, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 4 makes a lot of sense. Or, I mean, just get him a front court partner that makes up for his weaknesses a little bit is the bigger takeaway.
They've been hoping for Donovan Clingan, the UConn big boy.
That would be cool, actually. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah. Shout out to Clingan, man.
Yeah, so that could be interesting. Yeah, just let Jaren Jackson be the roamer, have Clingan be the big body. It could be the move.
Could be the move. Move them out of my face. 234. The Blazers 1-3 in their last 4. Beat the Wizards. Lost to the Warriors, Pelicans, and Celtics. I went to the Wizards game. Delano Banton, Huskers legend. Delano Banton, near triple-double. Delano Banton,
Whoa.
21, 8, and 8 on 47% true shooting. It was not a great efficiency game from anybody.
Someone's got to shoot the shots.
Season grade, I gave him an F. Scoot looks really raw. Simons and Sharp both missed considerable stretches, and the team is just generally not fun to watch, even in a bad way. I routinely forgot that Ayton is on the roster. I wrote that down because I remembered when I wrote it down. Rebuild grade, though, I gave him like a B minus. I like Anthony Simons a lot. I like Sharp a lot. I'm holding out hope for Scoot. Guards are bad their rookie year. It just happens. I think he could still be really good. I want to see them make an extended, healthy run together next season. I want to see what that 3 looks like. And Ayton, he's fine. I don't know. You got to pay somebody.
Robert Williams back next year
For 20 games, and it'll be so sick. He's so good, but he just can't stay healthy. It's so sad. The real Jonathan Isaac. Yeah, that's all I got on Portland.
Scoot is the youngest player to get 15 assists in a game since Trae Young, 2018.
Cool.
Wow.
The same player, many people are saying.
Many. The Blazers sent cookies out to promote Matisse Thybulle for all defense. They were basketball. They looked like basketballs. I wish I got them.
I know. What the hell, Blake? We have a vote. You guys didn't know that? You didn't give us our cookies? What the fuck?
They what's it called? And instead of the the nutritional info tag where it tells you how many calories are in them, instead of literal like nutritional info, they had Matisse Thybulle defensive stats on there. Which, number one, is that legal? I don't know. Report that to the FDA or whatever. But here's what they said. Matisse Thybulle is first in blocked 3-pointers, first in steal to turnover ratio, first in deflections per 36, steals per 36, steals per 100 possessions. He's second in total deflections, total steals, games with 3+ steals, and then he's third in steals per game, fourth in deflections per game total. So Matisse Thybulle probably won't get it, but there's some all defense propaganda. I saw someone on their subreddit said it's cheaper to fly to DC and get courtside seats than it is to go to a Trailblazers game. That doesn't seem right, but Portland is an incredibly expensive city. Are they still charging a lot for their tickets? That would be nuts. But DC's an expensive city too, so I don't know. And then last thing, when they were searching for head coaches, when they hired Billups, you know who they interviewed?
Who?
Dawn Staley.
Oh, that'd be cool.
They took the L. They should have hired her. Now she's a champion. Now you can't get her.
Chauncey Billups, stupid idiot. Bald, too. Ugh, Hall of Famer, though. I forgot about that. So maybe they're up a little bit. But they suck this season, And yeah,
obviously didn't give his brain to Scoot Henderson. Didn't make the translation any easier
whoa,
for
he
Scoot.
didn't give brain to Scoot.
Didn't give
Whoa,
his brain.
his brain.
His
Okay,
brain.
get him out of my face. 23. All right. Yeah, and then we're down at the Spurs. Season grade, gave him a D, but with Wemby, it feels like a B plus. Rebuild grade A. Wemby is the best 20-year-old I've ever seen in a million years.
Oh.
I could start a religion about him. Lobbyist request. We have a couple. Wembenyama being shown chuffing back a fat dart is all that separates him from flipping DPOY odds in his favor. Assuming if he was smoking the dart on national TV and with minimal to no coughing, ideally, which he's French, almost certainly would not cough, almost certainly been sucking down darts since he was a youngin'. Yeah, I'm on board for that.
His lungs have to be huge. He's got so much cigarette capacity in there.
Yeah, fuck, like Hunter, the smoker guy. Yeah. He can dive to the bottom of the ocean and hold his breath. Kind of sick. That's what Wemby would do. And then this other one says, which Wemby career would you prefer plays out? Ignoring feeling bad for him, in parentheses. A, he gets 12 rings, MVPs, and DPOYs. He wrecks the league for 15 years. Or B, Greg Oden. I'd rather see A, I guess. Just like, this is just unanimously the greatest player that's ever played the sport, no question. I guess that'd be cooler than like, I'm sad about. I would feel bad. I don't care. I feel bad, even though your parentheses told me not to. I don't care.
Greg Oden outcome because he's French.
Ooh, damn! There you go.
Wemby's new logo, pretty sick.
I forgot about that. The alien. That is cool.
Oh shoot, my laptop just died. But luckily we're on the last team. GG Jackson talked about how Wemby trash talks. He said it sounds quiet because he's all the way up there, but he just says things like, go up, you won't, you're scared.
Oh, I saw that. That was scary, dude.
And then I'll tell you what, I've come to a decision on whether I would want the Spurs to trade for Trae Young or Darius Garland. My official answer, no, but I won't go into detail because we're already at 2:40. So
you guys got to tune in next time to find out. Do you have awards this week?
I do. Let's try and remember them.
Okay, I'll just run through mine. Jeremy Lin, I said Jokic.
I think I had him too.
Ferris Bueller, I said Harrison Barnes, 11-4-1 on 51% true shooting. And that's including a game where he scored 22 on 70% true shooting. So the other three were just horrific. Forks, comeback player of the week.
I might have had Harden as my week off. I don't know.
Bum, garbage. Get him out of here. The comeback player of the week, this is fun. I did have Daniel Gafford. After an 11-game stretch of horrific efficiency, 72% from the field, he has come back with 3 straight games of 100% efficiency.
Nice.
So it's like, just put the ball in the basket, man. What the fuck? Why are you missing 1 in every 4 shots? What's wrong with you? And then Joe Johnson, clutch player of the week, Paul George, cool shot over Evan Mobley, made him fall down.
I have a pair of Mavs for the last 2 awards. I had PJ Washington for comeback player, and then because he's finally scoring, and then I had Dante Exum for clutch because he made that 3.
Hell yeah. Oh, and we have a lobby request. Maybe we could do this for tomorrow's episode. It's Calvin
behind
and
the Patreon wall, of course.
Yeah, behind the Patreon wall, patreon.com/state of the league. You can find out who our Calvin and Hobbs duo of the week would be. So I kind of like that because I like Calvin and Hobbs a lot. So I'm susceptible to shit like that.
I'm so Calvin and Hobbs pilled.
I'm Hobbs. You could be Calvin.
I get to pee on things.
Yeah, you can pee on everything depending on which truck you're on. I mean, shit, man. You can pee on.
I literally peed outside in this exact location last week.
You're so Calvin.
Calvin.
When we shut this phone call off, I'm gonna turn into a stuffed animal that like doesn't move to anyone but you. I'm so Hobbs pilled. Oh my god. All right. That's it, everybody. Calm little 242 for you. And we'll see you. If you're not on Patreon, fuck you. I'll see you around. But if you are on Patreon, I'll see you tomorrow, baby. Hell yeah.
Woo!